Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. It's us. We're here. We're going to do the thing that we do. At least a few of us are tired and feeling kind of silly, which probably means this is going to be a super somber episode because that's how it works. But we did just spend about 5 minutes talking about my new discovery, which I'm going to now share with all of you. So, Jelly Belly, the jelly bean people, make sparkling water. They make chocolate sparkling water, and it is really good. I know the immediate reaction when you hear that is like, ew, gross. It's good. I highly recommend it. So go out and try it. This is not a sponsored message. It's just a discovery that I made. Go out and try it
Jelly
and
Belly, come sponsor us.
change your life.
Mhm.
Change your life. Forget that spindrift nonsense that juice does. It's Jelly Belly chocolate water. And they have vanilla too, and vanilla's good. So, but anyway, so that's my little plug. Hey, Mish, what's going on?
Hey. Hey, so we're all about to play the second part of this particular adventure of the Root RPG game, a traveling band. Well, that's our name for it, but it's Root RPG. It's a powered by the Apocalypse system. It's themed around a board game that you could get, Root, a game of Windland Might and Right. The board game features asymmetrical. It's an asymmetric war game, and it features different factions of anthropomorphic animals vying for power. But here in the RPG, you are just a little group of vagabonds, a bunch of little rascals and rogues running around in this world where great powers vie for conflict in the woodland. Fighting for control. I think our factions are the uh, let's see, it's either great or grand, and I always forget the underground duchy, the mole people, which I think everyone has collectively decided they don't really like at all. Um,
Too much paperwork.
yeah, something about that paperwork stuff. We have the Erie dynasties, whom they have also offended due to past actions that happened before even the game started, something blowing up potato fields, what have you. Uh, and the Corvid Conspiracy, which is a much more subtle group running around. Also, there's the Denizens, which are decided with themselves. They're just living their best lives.
And they
Um,
love us.
yeah, they do, because you help them out a lot, like you might be in this time around. So how about we go around? We start with Tough, and just introduce yourself and your character and maybe to talk a bit about what happened last time.
Oh boy, okay. Hi, I'm 98 Tefla or Tough Torpleton, some of the variety nickname. I'm also a variety streamer on Twitch. Sometimes, maybe sometime in the future, I will stream again. Until then, I'm here most of the time. I am playing V, who is an adorable little otter, and she likes to collect historical objects and doesn't make counterfeits of things and take the genuine articles and is just sweet and perfect and does no wrong ever. Um, last time, from V's perspective, we arrived. Well, first we got attacked by a penguin and a moles, and then I pretended to be kidnapped so that the penguin wouldn't hurt me, which worked perfectly. Absolutely. Then we arrived at Oakenholm, which is my hometown. We met the Captain Bunny lady. She told us that the walls got destroyed by a flood, and so there was a lot of chaos happening. We went and got Fritz patched up, and then we got approached by somebody talking about restoring the Arts District. So we've been helping to fix broken books and things. And then there was a missing rabbit, and we went and saved her. We're heroes to the denizens and all that. Whatever. I want to go back to my books. Go sit.
Hi, I'm Sin or simple underscore potato on Twitch and all the social medias. The next time I'll be streaming will be Monday, with a no mic stream. Yeah, I play Fritz, who is a cat and likes to blow stuff up. And so last session they got to blow up the penguin ship, that was pretty fun. How the team of vagabonds said that it was okay for them to blow this up, so that was pretty cool. But then their medical bill was pretty hefty, so they did a bit of calculation, gave away their Monsieur Stabby dagger that they had as payment, received one value back as change because it was 4 and they only needed 3. And so now as a sword, they're gonna use the bandit sword, which should be fun. And then they also found a bear, but didn't wake the bear. And they told everyone else to not wake the bear by attempting to subtly wrap up Marsh's mouth without telling him about it first. It was fine. Everything went fine. Yeah. Why?
I am Twi'lek, and I've been playing Hector, who is a heron. And last week, as we arrived in Oakenhold, we saw a great wall around the city which had been shattered in various places, blown up. So naturally, we did absolutely nothing about that. And we salvaged some artifacts, and then we went off herring after this rabbit and bear fiasco. SJ.
Hello, I am SJ or SJ underscore sidekick. Go Army, beat Navy. Just want to say that because it's Army Navy Day. I'm playing Tack, who is a ranger frog, so it's like basically just a ninja frog, and kind of just hanging out with this group because he feels a little bit indebted to Marsh, and for some reason this group decides to stick around with Fritz, who is a huge liability and somehow has not blown up the group yet, but it's inevitable. So Tack is trying to protect them from themselves at this point.
Oh yes, I'm Zero Daylight or Michael, and I play Marshmallow Nimblesmirk, or Marsh, who is, I mean, he's kind of like an otter but better. He's a mink, right? I mean, you can tell by looking at him, just so shiny. He's incredibly famous. Everyone loves him. He doesn't bore everyone to death like V. He doesn't blow people up like Fritz. He doesn't have a beaver girlfriend like Hector, and he is not small and wee like Tack. So yes, he's the the face, the ambassador, the most beloved woodland creature in every clearing. So, yes.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I'm Misha or Misha underscore less than 3. I don't really stream on Twitch, but you can find me on Twitter and Tumblr at Misha Weha. Any rate, so yeah, last time I think we pretty much went over the important bits, that you were ambushed on the high seas. It's a lake. It's a very big lake. By Sir Isington the 14th, who you all know was hired by Commander Warham. Obviously, you all angered the commander at some point, so this wasn't too surprising. Oakenhold was indeed flooded by some sort of tidal wave. Many things were destroyed. You were helping out with the Arts District. You found Fog, which was Soren's lost daughter. They're both rabbits. She was in a bear cave. That was not great. I guess we can go to the map. I did make a new map. I don't know if you downloaded it, but it's not that different from the other new map, so you can just go to that one. So this is where you are, which is Oakenhold, which is the far west side of the map, having traveled by the ferry to and from Rooston. Recently, you've learned that Milltown is now under the Duchy's control, and there's a tunnel there, which is the bit of the map that was updated. So that is the latest rumors that you had picked up on. And I think you can switch back. All right. So I keep moving Windows around. Windows is all like, you want to make it a full screen thing? And I'm like, no, not really. Thank you. It is a new day after your woodland romp to go rescue lost rabbits. You return to Oakenhold, rested that night. It is a new morning. At this point, Hector Rodia probably, had been hanging out with you because she was all like, I've been waiting for you all day. Where were you? Is what she said last night. You were like, oh.
Oh, Rodia, I was trying to find you a present, and I almost managed to find you some carrot cake, but Marsh ate it, so I'm going to find you a present. I will, this time.
Oh, you're so sweet. But I will have to let you know, I do have to run the ferry starting tomorrow, so I'll be leaving in the morning.
No, you can't do that. I love you. Please, stay with me forever.
She grabs your hands, wings, and is just like, I love you too, Hector, but sometimes it's just good if everyone does their own thing from time to time. I'm a creature of the open waves, the water. I got responsibilities to take care of and stuff. I'll be back. The ferry goes both ways.
I'll be here. I'll be waiting for you. I shall look out upon the sea every day.
Well, you wouldn't have to do that. I'll be back in like 3 days.
Well, I'll look out the day beforehand just in case you're early. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. All right. Any rate, want to have some fun tonight?
Absolutely. But this is a PG stream.
Well, that's why the scene fades to black immediately, and it is now the next day. Sorry, Zero's face was excellent. I loved it.
Having fun could have meant a lot of things. Jeez, Zero.
They just went shot for shot last night. It's fine.
Just pause, rewind, delete. Didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Anyway, they're sharing a cup of coffee in the morning as you all wake up. Probably they're at the docks. I'm sure Hector went to the boat that you were all on because it's like a barge situation that has living quarters on it and so on. But also that day, the next ferry from Rooston is arriving as well. I'm sure Hector told you all to come by and wave her off. And also make sure you grabbed all your stuff off the boat, that kind of thing, in case you left something behind. So you will...
And watch the people arriving from the next ferry to make sure none of them is a penguin in disguise.
Exactly. So on that ferry, I'm sure Tack is keeping a lookout. It is quite a few families, maybe regular citizens. I don't know if you recognize anyone. Rooston's a fairly big town. You can pick up some of the rumors and what have you there. A lot of people are saying like, oh, we're just leaving for a bit, or one or two people are like, well, I was going to move here because I heard about your cool wall that isn't broken, but it looks pretty broken. Maybe I need to reconsider where I'm moving kind of conversations. General vibe that you are all getting from these conversations is that Rooston is in a state of panic, or at least disarray, as far as the duchy is concerned. There's been some curfews, lockdown, soldiers are being recalled back into the thing. I think many of the higher ups have been summoned by the council, someone has rumored. No one really knows much about the council, except you guys, because you got a whole book about military secrets. Specifically, you know that many things aren't done without the entire council's approval, which includes many ministers of defense. Let me see. I got a whole. This is fun stuff that I get to do on the side later. But you know about there's a formal captain, marshal, brigadier, banker, mayor, duchess of mud, baron of dirt, and earl of stone are all the members of the council that make the decision whether to go to war or not. And I'm assuming that they are summoning everyone from this disaster at Rooston to perhaps get a new lay and carry out a new vote on their next actions. You can also, I guess I'll mention that you can also figure out that the action that happened in Milltown, where they were, that city was taken over, that probably was happening simultaneously with the stuff you were doing at Rooston. As far as the time period of that.
Okay.
So you're saying we've got an alibi?
Yeah, that one's not your fault.
Yes.
Yet.
Fritz, are you leaving the sword like mostly covered while you're carrying it, or do you have like the scabbard and stuff visible?
It's visible.
It's visible until we see it, and then we cover it in scarves because we don't want to run out of town.
We're like, Fritz, no.
It's a beautiful scarf sword.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm asking this, this is the Marquisate sword, which was one of the factions that used to control the woodlands until it was run out by, I think, the Duchy and the Denizens, to be honest. But no one likes the Marquisate. So everyone will treat you with one less reputation while you openly display that particular sword. I mean, Fritz in particular, but you all hang around with Fritz for reasons, so.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to do this morning as Radia heads off?
Ooh. How about inspire the new arrivals to pitch in and help with the walls and the kilns?
Oh, they could do
I can
that.
sing them my new super tragic song.
Sign up for the historical society.
Oh, yes. How did I forget?
Have a banner with a clipboard and have everybody
Yes,
sign
it's like,
as they walk in.
welcome to town. There's a new immigration policy. You have to sign up for the Historical Preservation Society, and you have to report to, this one with the bossy pants, to be assigned to pitch in. And if you pitch in, then the walls will be repaired, and this will be a wonderful place to live. And you can work on the kilns, and you can do stuff. Don't worry about restoring the historical and artistic artifacts. We've got that covered. But
the what? You mean a historical society? I haven't heard of such a thing before.
of course not. It's new and innovative. It's a very exclusive. It's currently a very exclusive organization. So you need to get it on the ground floor.
To everybody as they walk past.
Yes.
Go ahead and just roll a persuade an NPC for your general success levels in all of this.
Sure. My S plus charm. This is so dumb. I don't know if you can see. There we go. So that's 15.
Oh my goodness.
It's just the dumbest thing ever.
You're barking, if you will, about this historical society and moving people to the walls and so on to help reconstruct. At first, it's a slow trickle of individuals, but as you continue, basically everybody on the ferry is indeed lining up to sign to the historical society, and even telling nearby dock worker, like, hey, come on, you should join the society. It'll be a good time. Let me see. 1 second. This guy. Why is it important? Yes. Tack, as you're looking around, because I think you would know this, you see one dock worker in particular. There are other boats besides just that ferry. A lot of boats have rolled in with other supplies. Obviously, at this point, word has gotten out that they need more supplies, so I assume there's been an influx of ships with a variety of trade goods. But you notice one dock worker in particular, a hawk with white and dusty brown striped feathers, sharp yellow eyes. You notice them, and you notice in particular that they are a member of the Corvid conspiracy. There's probably some subtle way of either wearing clothes or like a mark somewhere that you are familiar with since your work with the organization. So you recognize that he would be part of the conspiracy.
Do I see where he's going off to?
I mean, from what you see he's doing, he's just doing work, it looks like. He's just, loading, unloading boats, putting in places. It doesn't seem to be anything.
Yeah, it makes sense. It takes a while to embed yourself, so
Yeah. And I would say you don't recognize the individual, but you do recognize what to look for. All right. Anything else this morning?
I have a question.
Yes.
Would it be okay for Fritz to start a fire so that, like, people could make coffee or food over it? Or is that not a thing that happens?
I think it is a thing that happens. You could probably find a place either near the docks or somewhere else, because there are quite a few people who are displaced from their homes right now who are probably setting up little camps and so on. I would say normally this is probably not a thing that happens in the city, but because of the recent situation, I think you could find a place
preferably
where it'd
very
be acceptable
close to
for
the
you.
water.
And supervised.
So yes, you could find a place to start a fire and help people serve coffees and so on.
As we all
Disappointed the
stand
plan isn't
around
here.
very nervously watching
Like, don't.
every detail.
How big is that piece of wood? Don't you put that in there.
We've all got little buckets ready to throw them at any moment.
Well, I'm sure some of you are still busy getting everything signed up for the Historical Society at the
that's true.
moment. So
That's
I'm
true.
sure it's just Tack who's left with the responsibility of also trying not to have a fire
I'm gonna
started.
get a squirt bottle.
Yes. I will loan you the squirt bottle that I use to keep you moist. Don't forget to hit
Just
yourself every
alternate.
once in a while. Like 3 for them, 1 for you. And then I would like to lead a phalanx of newcomers at the Captain Bunny Rabbit Lady.
Yes.
Good morning. Deal with this. They're all
Oh.
super excited to help you with, I don't know, your wall and stuff. You're
Oh.
welcome.
Excellent work, Marsh. I really appreciate this. All right, everybody, line up. And he starts organizing the mobs of
Scamper
people.
back because I don't
So-
want to get caught up in having to actually do manual labor. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Fritz, while you are starting a fire, maintaining the fire, helping people boil coffee stuff, tea? Probably tea. I don't know how many coffee plants grows in these woodlands. Any rate, doesn't matter. As you help people with their warm breakfast liquids, go ahead and give me a trust fate roll, which is plus luck.
Ooh.
And then let me know what you get while I look up the stuff.
9?
Fine, okay. You pick up some additional rumors as you are sitting there listening to people as they sip their drinks and so on. And then let me just look up the bit where I've written down what these bits are. It's a couple of mice, if you will, just sitting there eating and drinking. They discuss for a bit. One is from farther, a merchant that's traveling from farther east, and another one is let's see, up near Ice Trap, and they're just sort of just having a little conversation and saying like, after that whole incident, you heard about this, right? They say to you, Fritz. There was some sort of like explosion over in Patchwood. Like all the food fields gone. I heard it was raining popcorn for days, says the other one.
Oh yeah, it was wild, man.
Oh, you were there?
No, a friend of mine was. They told me about it when we met up. In between a bit of openings. But yeah, said things were flying in the air. Just a beautiful day. The birds were singing.
Yeah, I heard there was a pretty good barbershop quartet.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, I didn't think they'd ever kind of recover from that, but hear me out. They've been requesting a lot of wood. I think they're building one of those roost buildings over in their place in Alaboro. Oh, really? Says the other one. Yeah, it'll probably take them a bit. I don't think they're commanding enough resources. What with all of their fields destroyed. Oh, well, that's too bad. And weapon requests have been up. I think they started. I've heard that Iron Vein's been hit too. Oh, wow. Rough business. Yeah, that's why I've come out this way. It seems a little calmer as far as things go. And then idle conversation about the wall and the situation in town and so on. Yeah, I think that will do as far as the information you've picked up over breakfast. Well, it was nice chatting with you. A really good fire you got going here, they say, standing up, brushing off their fans.
Yeah, it's kind of my specialty. I used to be a camp counselor back in the day, and so we teach the kids how to make fires. It's a good time.
It's an important thing to know these days. You never know when you're going to be, lost in the woods or something. You need to fend for yourself with all those critters out there. I mean, that's why I always travel by path or by ferry. The ferry I took, and they start wandering away into town, probably doing whatever they need to do for the rest of the day. So what do you do now? I will note that things that are probably on your docket is probably there's still art district things to do. You've already done a thing where you have counterfeited stuff and taken things, so you could continue on such trajectories as well. There is still the question of the kilns, which are non-functional, while the master, what is he? The kiln master? Mason? There we go. Yeah. That's a word that makes sense. The Mason is rather deflated after your very tragic song.
But it's still a note of hope.
Yeah. He's still got that concern. I don't think he's really left the area, and also it hasn't really been. It still is not a priority over the wall currently.
Well, we've already
And
seen to the wall. I mean, we've tripled their workforce. So do you want to go talk to the sad kiln man and find out if there's anything that we can do to help that isn't like actual work?
Perhaps you could. V, at some point, I think also you were going to check out your old master's old home and or gravesite as well.
We should do that.
Yeah.
In case there's any interesting things, super secrets, mysteries, a ghost.
Perhaps the bacon
Yeah,
will
that
be
would
there.
be organized in section 3. That's where you put all the secrets and mysteries.
Ooh, maybe. So I've heard that some people, when bad things happen, like just have a hard time forgetting about them. What was I saying? Oh, no, I've heard that. I was just saying that maybe if his boring old ghost could come back, it could tell people stories and they could sleep better. That would be a service to the town.
Are you suggesting that we do a ritual to bring his ghost back to town to tell campfire stories?
I mean, I'm not suggesting, but I'm not against it. That sounds interesting.
I don't know that he had that kind of occult information.
I don't know. I didn't even know that's a thing. I just remember I've never slept. That's one of the reasons I don't remember much about this place. I spent most of the time asleep. As soon as he would walk by and start, just,
He had so many good stories. I
Sure.
mean, just look at the intricacies of the kiln system and the economical structure of Oakenhold and the rest of this. Blah, 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 blah.
yeah, gross. All right, let's go to that house and see what's in there.
Okay.
All right. So, it's.
Are you going to be
not-
okay, Hector, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be okay?
Absolutely.
You
Doing
just-
what?
You seem a little droopy.
Oh, well, you see, I think I'm being abandoned. Rhodia, she said she loves me, but she's going away to another town. And she said she's coming back, but I don't know. It's hard. Love is hard. Pray you never fall in love, Marsh. It's hard.
Well, they are there. I'm sure it'll be
Don't
okay.
worry, I'm sure she'll be back. She reads it. I promise.
Thank you. Your kind words mean so much to me.
All right. Where's Tack?
Probably still throwing Fritz down.
Where's Tack?
Jack is like half listening to you guys, but mostly looking at
Oh,
everything
no, yeah,
else.
you're right there. I'm just like looking up. Oh, that's right. And look down. Oh, there you are. You're just always under fire. We're going to go.
It's more funny because if you're looking up, because you'd be standing like 1 inch above Tack's head.
All right. So, yes, let's go to Master, what's his face's house. And we're not going to load up.
Yeah. Master Tivus.
Yeah, let's go to my old master's house.
Yes. And if we're going to go rob his grave, we have to do that after dark.
We're not gonna rob his grave.
Well, I'm not the one making the list. It was on your list.
It wasn't on my list.
There was something about the grave.
No, we're gonna leave his grave alone.
Then why would you go see it? That's creepy.
Pay respects.
Sure.
So his house isn't too far from where the art district is. It does seem to have suffered some from the effects of the storm. And when you had left I think it was treated as some sort of museum because there's enough scrolls, etc. in there that it'd be a pain to move it, even to have someone else live there currently. So I think everyone had decided to just leave it as it was. And I'm sure it brings back some memories. He's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. So many memories.
So many memories. Dives in towards the scrolls.
Hector, do you still have that Historical Society banner that you were flying around with?
I do.
Can I have a pen, please? Me?
Why do you need a pen?
I just want to add a word to the banner.
What word?
Headquarters. Well, I mean, the society now has hundreds of members. We're going to need a headquarters. And
Yeah,
what
I
more
don't-
perfect way than to honor your silly old boring mentor who knew all the, I don't know, history stuff, than to make his home the headquarters.
Mm. Okay.
All right, headquarters. Let's tack it up.
So as you are tacking this up, V, you turn and see someone you had been avoiding this whole time. Let's see. Hold on. I wrote down. A lizard named Keely. Why have you been avoiding them?
Mm.
Context, they were probably also a pupil of your master.
Yeah. Oh. Hang on, my internet's happening. Okay, we're good. When we were pupils under Master Tibist, I was maybe a little bit jealous because they were maybe a little bit better at things than me. So their handwriting was a little nicer and their counterfeiting was better and blah 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 blah. So I switched out their inkwell one time and made it extra runny so that it would ruin everything that they worked on, and I kind of sort of accidentally made them ruin a whole bunch of like artifacts. So they never really forgave me for that.
Cool. So you see them as I presume Hector and Marsh are tacking up the sign.
No, when we tack things up, it's always tack. And that's my cue
Okay.
for like tack, you do it, because you can climb and stuff things.
Right. All right. So Tack and Hector, and Marsh is probably doing like, oh no, raise the
Yeah, just a
corner.
little bit more. Yes. Make the folds look nice.
And then she come. You see her, and you look at each other, and she's like, "I thought you left town for good. What are you doing here? What are you doing with that sign?"
Well, you see, we've started a National Historical Society, and it's to restore history. And what better place to do that than Master Tibbus?
This is where I work, doing the actual keeping of records by myself, I might add, because someone decided to leave town.
Healy, I told you there's history everywhere, and there are places outside of Oakenhold that also have historical value. You have no idea the things that I found on my travels, okay? It's like so good.
What, you've been traveling through what, like, everyone calculates exactly how long you might have been a vagabond? At least 6 months, probably.
Yeah. Not even a year. I'll have you know that I have found things that nobody else could possibly know about.
That sounds real accurate and not a lie. Mm-hmm.
Healy, you don't have to be so bitter.
Me, I'm bitter. I'm the one who's bitter after you ruined my thesis that I was presenting to Master Tibbist before he, died or whatever. really good at this. Don't worry.
Look, Keely, that was like 8 months ago. You should totally be over this by now.
Over this. Worked on that for like 4 years. And you said, oh, just copy it over with this pen. I made it special for you.
Well, actually, I made the ink special for you. The pen was actually a gift. That was good.
Oh, cool. And these are your new friends that you're definitely not going to also ruin their master theses or whatever?
Don't worry, none of them have master theses.
But they're part of a historical society. Why wouldn't they're all like they all do? She's looking at each one of you, trying to estimate exactly how much research you would actually do.
In the words of Marsh, we tend to make history.
You see, they're less actual historians and more like the board of directors.
Yes.
Marsh does our marketing. Tack is security. Hector, it helps me because he's good at handwriting. And Fritz
Yes.
is there.
And Fritz.
Yeah.
Mascot.
A pleasure, I'm sure.
Did I hear you say something about you work here?
Yeah, like
We have our first
This is-
employee. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I am not your employee.
No, but
Definitely
you work
not.
at the
No
Historical
way.
Society headquarters.
You can't just make a building a historical society headquarters.
I mean, there's the sign.
she goes to rip down the sign.
Hold on, Tack. She's overcome with excitement. I'll ask one of the newcomers who's passing by, carrying some stone, who is, by the way, a member of the Historical Society. Go, oh, hello, new member. Look, what is this building?
Well, that's old Master Tivis' house.
Oh, this
looks
is
like
someone-
the new headquarters of the Historical Society.
Yeah, someone from out of town is like, well, clearly it's the headquarters of the Historical Society. It's like, exactly.
No, she's going to rip down the sign unless you.
Oh, Tack is going to posture in front of her.
She thinks she can take you. You look small.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
Try it.
Really, I maybe wouldn't do that if I were you.
Hold on, let me get her some stats real quick because this is going to be pretty short.
I don't know how I feel about our first employee being so anti-history.
So anti-history.
I mean, this is now history as the first inaugural headquarters of the Historical Society. If you rip the sign down, then you're literally destroying history.
It's lucky we don't have human resources yet.
Oh,
Or
yes.
critter resources.
Oh, that's what we could put Hector in charge of. It's Hector resources.
All right,
Sure.
she takes the walking staff or stick that she has and tries to sweep your legs aside to get to knock you down to try to also grab the thing. What do you do?
Because I don't want to actually hurt her, but I want to show off that she is clearly underestimating who she's dealing with. So maybe acrobatics to kind of clearly dodge and then keep my firm presence in front of the sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
So attempt a roguish feat.
Okay. So then it's with finesse, right?
Yes.
An 8, 9. Okay, so that's a 9.
You will either have to mark exhaustion or there's a risk.
I'll mark exhaustion. That's fine.
I will help you by maintaining a constant and distracting patter that you are used to, but that she finds irritating and makes it more difficult for her to
Irritating.
respond.
Grating, annoying.
And yet somehow charming.
All right, and I think with help you just mark
Yeah.
an exhaustion
Yeah.
instead.
And we've slept, so I just left my one.
Yeah. All right. So you do that, dodging out of the way of the staff, and are still there. She breathes heavy with frustration, I think both at Tack and also looking at Marsh, and says, "Will you shut up?"
He never
Marsh?
does.
Just keep
Wait,
going.
no, she knows you.
Of course
You've
she knows
been
who
in
I am.
town.
Everyone knows who I am.
Oh, and then what she does is she starts saying is like, "Oh, March, I'm sure you love this one. Did we ever tell you about the tale of the founder of the city? Well, when he first came here," and she starts talking, and it sounds like one of the masters. Yeah, all right. And as that happens, she continues talking and tries to reach the staff past you, Tack, to knock down the sign.
Okay, I will. And if she reaches it like too high, since like my legs, extend, I'll just like and grab it and stop it.
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll for that.
It's 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know what we're using if we're adding anything.
Well,
Then-
is there a roguish feat you'd like to use for this, or is there something
Is it
a different
acrobatics
move that
still?
would make more sense?
I have acrobatics, blindside, hide, sleight of hand, and sneak as mine. I also have weapon skills, disarm.
You know what? I think disarm might be something you might want to try, because that would probably be effectively what you want to do here.
Ooh, is that plus anything? I gotta find where.
Yeah, the weapon moves are
Disarm.
not. I don't think they're in that.
Roll with finesse, so 9, 10, 11.
All right, cool. So yeah, you easily
They have to
disarm.
mark 2 exhaustion or lose their weapon.
She will just lose her weapon because that is more straightforward here. As far as things go, so I think yes, it'd just be like you. She thinks she's reached over you, but you just kind of like, behold, springy legs, and grab it and easily just take it from her because your grip is perhaps stickier. Sticky hands. And you take the staff from her, and she just kind of like blinks in surprise and then is frustrated again, and her story stops at this point, so Marsh can awaken. Are you talking?
You're muted, Zero, if you're...
Zero, you're
Oh,
muted.
does she lick her own eyeball when she gets nervous, like geckos do?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because that
She's
would
a
definitely
lizard.
snap me out of my little snooze. Oh. Look, you. I understand that this is all, I don't know, emotional or something. But think about the opportunity. I mean, you know me. This is currently a fun little thing, but eventually we'll, come up with something else to do. Someone's going to have to run the Historical Society, and it's currently, I don't know, it's got like 100 members. And it's a bunch of people that are really interested in preserving history. And what a better way to honor Master Tibist than to have his abode be forever remembered as the founding chapter house of the Woodlands Historical Preservation Society. And you can be the executive director. I mean, it's basically doing exactly what you're doing already, but with a title. And members. And funding.
Funding?
Yeah.
What funding?
Well, all the members have to pay dues to help support the preservation of historical artifacts and places. It doesn't happen for free.
They do.
Of course. I mean, granted, they tend to want to pay in things like carrot cake, which is kind of strange. But whatever.
I mean, the intention was, of course, to request assistance with funding the Historical Society. I mean, we can't preserve anything without some sort of value.
Right. members can contribute time and effort and goods and value or whatever they're capable of doing. Think of it as like a grassroots organization.
She's trying to listen to your honeyed words, but she remember that she's angry at V still. So she turns to you, V, and is just like, really? Is this your plan? Some sort of half-baked historical society with no actual plan of how to get the money from everybody? Hey, you over there. Did you join this historical society? Oh, well, yeah, I signed this paper. And they told you about the dues you have to pay? Dues? I don't think they mentioned any dues. Don't worry about it. And they keep walking, and then she looks like...
Well, you're never going to get the dues if you approach it that way.
Yeah.
Dishonest. Exactly the kind of behavior I would expect from you, V.
It's on the sheet. It's in, small print, but whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, way to use your amazing cartography skills to write extra small legalese print to rip people off.
I mean, it's not really technically legally binding, so we're not actually ripping anybody off. Like, I mean, if they don't pay it, they don't pay it. But, I mean, it's a good cause. All you have to do is spin it the right way, which is why we have Marsh.
Right.
Because he's
And look,
good at that.
our half-baked plan already got 100 members. Can you imagine what we could accomplish if we tried? Even
if only like 20 of those people actually.
Marsh, I don't think you've barely tried at anything.
You're probably
your
right.
whole
We're probably
life,
not going to
Marsh.
try, but you could try because you're smart in things.
Why would I want to get behind this kind of dishonesty when it comes to a field of preserving truth and actual facts?
Anyway, how many people have actually come in and wanted to learn how to do this?
Like one. And to be honest, that's fine because I don't really like people, especially when they act like you.
Wow.
You switched the inkwell out one time and they just never stop holding it against you.
It wasn't just the inkwell, V.
What else was it?
Well, she says.
So it sounds like we have two choices. We can either continue to spread the word of the Historical Society, grow its membership over time, and then tell them all to come to you with every question and all of their thoughts about the things that should be preserved, and have them bring all their little knickknacks that they've been keeping, like from their grandma or whatever, to be appraised by the expert, so that all you do all day long is spend time. It's like, think of it like a road show, but with like people's antiques, and you have to appraise them all. Or we can continue doing what we're doing. It's just like, hey, the history is great and you should join the society and maybe, volunteer and stuff if you're needed. Which of those sounds better to you?
I'm sorry, I kind of tuned you out, Marsh, because you
Me
usually
too.
don't.
I'm just saying,
Did you want to sum it up?
this is going to happen. It can happen in a way that involves you having to deal with people all day long every day, or it can happen in a way that actually helps you. Your choice. It would be better and easier for you to make sure that it happens in a way that's comfortable and actually helps you if you were the executive director. Just saying.
All right.
Or we can just say whatever we say. You know how things always happen.
They do always happen like this. Go ahead and persuade an NPC, I
All right.
think.
Oh, I am going to boom that because that was the opposite of my last roll. That was 2 1s. All right, I'll type it in a second. So we got 2 6s, then 2 1s, and now 2 5s. So that'll be 13.
All right. She is probably thinking about this for a little longer than you'd like. I'm sure the silence is a bit awkward as she thinks about this. But she's like, fine, make it so it helps me. Give me that dumb title. I need my fair share of whatever cut you're taking.
We haven't thought that far.
Yeah, that seems obvious. Hang up your dumb sign. I guess I'll be inside cataloging things. Thanks for changing my life again without asking me. And she storms inside the building.
This will be good for you.
You're welcome.
She flips you off, but only you can see it because it's blurred out for the audience.
Oh, we should
she
make
likes
her.
me a little bit more than she did when I left.
We should make her business cards and a
I
plaque.
think we should leave her alone.
Well, we're not going to give them to her. We're going to give them to everyone else.
Oh, you're right.
Mm.
Yeah, they need to know where the headquarters is.
Yes.
Perfect. All according to plan.
All according to plan.
And be sure to write in
Everybody loved
your
this.
history notes and things that the the Woodlands Historical Preservation Society was founded in wherever we are, in response to the flood or something, and that we hired a local as a kind of an act of charity. You know, give her something to do, productive, keep her off the mean streets.
A half-bitten apple comes flying out of the tin and hits Marsh in the head.
Ooh, apples.
Yummy. Free food. Oh, don't worry. This will all go down in history as a wonderful thing that happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's our own faction. Oh, you know, we were going to make our own faction in the place that we don't talk about, you know, with the boom boom, and the stilt monsters.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have an army of historical preservationists.
I don't think that's very intimidating.
An army
Gestures
of
to self.
an army of historical preservationists armed with explosives.
I feel like that's just going to get a lot of, like, double the casualties on our side and theirs.
Well, we'll put a pin in that. I mean, let's face it, they are historical explosives.
But then shouldn't we not explode them?
Maybe it's like a whole living history thing. Like if you find
It's
some
just
sort of weird old
present.
implement or something, like this little flute thing I have. Like if you could stick it in a case or something, or you could play it. And I mean, it's great if you take a historical flute and play it, especially if you're a skilled performer like me. Although some people might think that it's problematic, but we don't like those people.
Yeah, but explosives are more of like a one-time thing.
I don't know. I don't remember what I said 15
think.
seconds ago. Anyway, so what's so we've done your little thing with your master and whatever. Do we need to go and put a sign up on his grave? We can call it the Master something Memorial Historical. I don't know, something.
No, let's just leave it like this. I mean, we could go pay respects to his
I
grave.
have part of an
but
apple we can leave on his grave.
That's okay.
Okay,
The thought counts, Marsh.
sure.
The one thought that you have.
All right, so tromp off to creepy graveyard.
Okay, so you go. It's not a creepy graveyard. I mean, probably not more so than a standard graveyard. It's on top of a hill, probably near the outskirts of town. I always like imagining things like, you know, there's a cliff and you can look out onto the lake or whatever.
It's the dead of night, and Fritz has a torch in either hand. It is very creepy.
Yes.
Wait, are you going in the middle of the night?
Maybe we
Why?
should. Maybe, well, because if there's ghosties and stuff, they probably won't be out during the day.
Why are we trying to find ghosts?
I don't know.
You could find.
It just
I
seems like
mean,
a shame to go to a graveyard and not at least try to find a ghostie.
Well, right now it's day, so you can either wait until night.
Let's wait until night. That's a really good thought, Hector.
Okay. I guess. Then should we go talk to the kiln mason?
Yes. Let's see if he's still crying.
He is. If you when you go to the kilns, the district of the kilns, there are many smaller ones, and they all seem in incredible disarray, especially compared to the surrounding area, which has some minor flood damage. But all of the kilns have suffered a severe amount of damage, including the large one, which was I don't know what's a reasonable size for a kiln, but I'm going to say you could walk into this one to set up the things. Like that's the kind of size that you're looking at for the main kiln. However, it's not really a kiln anymore because there's no ceiling situation. There's barely any walls left. There's dust and mud and such all around. Here you find the mason. It looks like he's been doing some effort to try to organize what was going on here, but currently is sitting looking incredibly sad. Not actively crying, but he's probably still thinking about that song.
Yes. Does it look like the kilns are more damaged than they ought to be?
All of you can see this. Even if you go around and look around for like you immediately looking like, well, this seems a little odd for like flood or storm damage or whatever. And I'd say you're probably going to be talking for a bit. During which time Fritz can easily determine, because Fritz is very used to this kind of thing, that this was some sort of intentional explosion.
Ooh.
But you'll probably it will take Fritz a bit, but Fritz is going to be looking around, and we'll just know this because Fritz.
Yes, Marshall probably mentioned this. Just seems a little different. Master Mason. Good news.
Hello there.
Good news. About 100 new members of the Historical Preservation Society are working on the wall right now, which is going to speed up the reconstruction of the wall, which means that will speed up the timeline for when people can focus on the kilns.
You could see his face go through a series of motions of good news. 100 members of the Historical Preservation Society, sad again. Working on the wall, confusion, and then it'll help to get to the kiln. They're happier now. He's like, oh, that is good news. Thank you, he says, like grabbing your paws in his and like shaking them excessively. He holds on too long.
Yes, and I pat him on the shoulder and then subtly wipe my paw off on his thing because his hands are dirty.
Yeah, his clothes are dirty too.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, you're welcome.
Thank you.
What's up with all this, though? Like, what actually happened?
Well, I'm not too sure. My house is just over there, and he points, and it's like. I'd say there's probably quite a few other commercial kind of buildings, but it's not too far that you get to some of the residential houses. Like he does not live far from the kilns, and he's like, it was the flood. We assume it just sort of rolled here. It was very odd though that it would just come straight for the kilns. There's water about, but I don't know, he says, looking at the many pieces of the kiln that are there.
And it didn't knock your house down. Your house is very close, though.
Yeah, the house is fine.
That seems strange.
A lot of the buildings around here are fine. More or less. There's a little water got around here, but not too much.
It seems odd, don't you think?
I mean, I was trying to tell the captain about it, but she wasn't listening.
I think she's worried about like being invaded or something.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, because wall down thing. And there are penguin pirates out there roaming the waters looking to cause havoc.
Penguin pirate?
Yes.
What's a penguin?
It's like a bird and a fish
Okay.
in a tuxedo.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
So like
They
a
live in
formal,
igloos.
probably.
What's an igloo?
Well, it's like a normal house, but it's made out of ice instead of bricks of.
Wouldn't that
marble.
melt every summer?
Well, no. It lasts forever.
Oh, that's interesting. Weird folk, those penguins.
I don't know. But anyway, like a fish bird, but formal. And also, if you run into one, don't believe anything they tell you about us. They're not to be trusted. They're known to harbor conspiracy theories. And
Seems
direct
likely.
their like, oh, that top class wedding planner business is actually a front for terrorists. It's like such a thing would never happen. Anyway, so
That seems like an oddly specific example.
well, you know,
Mason,
they think
golden tooth.
the best conspiracy theory is highly specific and difficult to substantiate.
Fair.
Anyway,
Marsha's been having a weird day. Anyways,
Have I?
Yes. Why would anyone maybe want to blow up the kilns?
No, I mean they're the pride and joy of the city, the heart of our industry.
what do you make with
yeah,
them?
but
Bricks and stuff.
Mm.
He actually has a real catalog of many things that you make in kilns.
Oh, but like bricks for the wall or bricks for other stuff?
Well, the wall hasn't really needed many bricks, but
But it does
other
now.
places need these things.
Oh, oh, like for houses or for their own walls or?
Houses, walls, any other general building material. The clay deposits near Oakenhold are definitely one of the most stable. You see the mineral compounds needed between the... Yeah.
Where are we?
I'm furiously writing things down.
Yeah, he can go on for a while about, the good clay around here.
Well, if I were, hypothetically, if I were a kind of evil subterranean race bent on dominating the woodlands, I might view the kilns that are protected by a wall as a vital defensive resource, and I might want to get rid of them. Because I guess like the kilns make the bricks that other people can use to make kilns to make more bricks, right? That then you can make more kilns to make more bricks. It's like kilns and bricks all the way down.
Yeah, that's really how the cycle goes. If you repair one of the smaller kilns, in fact, we could probably start making new bricks. And with those bricks, we could rebuild the old kilns so it could rise from the ashes. Like that song. You want to sing that song again?
Yes, and I do. And I've added 3 verses. It just kind of wanders off a little bit into a story about a bear, and lots of carrot cake and implied extortion. It's still a work in progress.
While he does this, I'm sure the rest of you can look around. Fritz, at this point during the conversation, you would have known like this was definitely blown up. Like, you can tell this stuff. So what you do with this information, I'll let you decide.
Fritz is just sitting in the corner doing the hand motions for the blown up thing. Like,
Just going.
you know how people usually, yeah, they're like mind blown.
What, Fritz?
Oh, you're talking with the guy right now, Marsh.
Okay.
You
Just
okay,
ended.
Fritz? Do we need to take you somewhere secluded to blow something up so that you don't accidentally blow up something important?
Fritz will point to the kilns and do the explosion hand movement and then go boom.
You want to blow up the kilns? They're already gone. We can't do that.
Although bricks would be a very convenient form to pack explosives into.
The end of the series is us creating new explosives with Fritz.
We've discovered all sorts of new explosives. I call this one C4.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see 4 of them.
And Fritz just go exploring around the kilns to see if they can find like explosive powder around it. If there's like anything left that wasn't blown up.
Go ahead and roll a thing. Let's do read a tense situation. Anyone else who wants to investigate the area right now can also read a tense situation. Which is roll plus cunning, and then you can ask 1 to 3 questions, and I'll let you ask questions that seem relevant to investigation.
I got an 8.
All right, so you can ask 1.
I got a 5.
All right, Hector, you're
Drunk.
not looking. Could be drunk. Could be both.
Probably both. Yeah.
I did not make the roll.
I got an 8 as well.
Fritz is asking what they should be on the lookout for in terms of explosive stuff.
So you're going around and you are at first pointing out little bits of evidence, like maybe you're pointing this out to whoever's following you around, making sure you aren't going to cause an explosion, even doing a lot of explosive hand motions. So maybe that's what everyone else is looking at, is the fact you did that. So you are going through and looking for the evidence. So you find, like, you're pointing out, like, here's a blast mark, here's the way these shards look. It's definitely like, you're like, look, there's a bit of gunpowder here, or black powder, I believe you would be calling it. And everyone's all like, that's what? And you're like, Philistines, they don't even know what black powder residue looks like. And as you're walking around, you finally find probably at one of the smaller, more intact kilns, a little evidence of like some powder that must have gotten separated from the rest. It didn't catch fire or what have you. And you note that as well. So I think that's what you get for that question. Evidence of an explosion. Did anyone else succeed on their roll?
Yes, I got an 8.
All right, what would you like to ask?
Um,
You can also ask something that seems a little more specific to this situation.
yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of in the vein of like who or what is the biggest threat? Like, who do I think could have caused this? Because I'm assuming I'm following Fritz around, and once it clicks, like, oh, there was an explosion, then it's like, but who would have caused the explosion? And trying to find any evidence of that.
Yeah. So you're like, so yes, there's an explosion. So, all right, you're definitely like, well, Fritz could have caused this. However, you know Fritz was on a boat with you while any of this was happening. So Fritz is probably not involved. Like 99% sure about that. However, it would have to be someone else who has access to the kinds of supplies that Fritz does, which is not the most common supply, I think. I think it would be probably present in any of the larger clearings, especially ones that are closer to mountains or hilly areas. You're not too sure if many people in Oakenhold would have this, but I mean, just in a general sense, that's what you would think about as people who have access to more explosive material. It's definitely something more out to the east and north.
I think just kind of as an additional thing with my background with the Corvid conspiracy, would they have access to those materials?
If requested, yes.
Okay. Hmm. Do I know anybody in town that's in the Corvid conspiracy?
Well, you don't, V.
Damn.
But someone saw somebody this morning. It was Tack. So they know that there is a presence of the Corvid conspiracy here. I don't know if you know. I don't think you noticed them.
No, I didn't.
And I don't think you knew anybody in town before you left that was part of the Corvid conspiracy.
Yeah, no, I would have joined up after I left. Cool.
Hold on, I just got to copy this NPC information somewhere. I feel like I'm going to have to use all of these banes real quick at the end whenever we get to where we're going. There's so many of them.
Oh boy. All right. Well,
And that's the new 5th verse. See how it's like an emotional roller coaster?
Absolutely beautiful. I was really confused in the middle about the carrot cake. You could probably work on that part a little bit.
It's a metaphor.
symbolism.
Metaphor.
Yes.
What for? What exactly?
I don't know.
Well, I thought that you have to know what a metaphor is for before you make the metaphor.
I know I'm a big believer in like the meaning of the art is in the mind of the audience. I'm kind of postmodern that way. Also, less work for me.
I mean, I suppose it is.
Is there any reason to go check out the clay deposits? Are they okay?
Oh, the clay deposits? Well, I mean, that's a bit of a trade secret, you know, to know exactly where we get the clay from. You see, it's kind of a hush deal because everyone knew where the clay was. They just go and get the clay and then they put it in their own kilns. You know, it's one of those you got to know the exact locations and ratios in order to make the thing just right.
Sure. I don't know.
I mean, you could probably try to convince him to take you to see the clay deposits if you want to go see them.
I'm just thinking, like again, if I was some sort of evil, highly bureaucratic organization bent on world destruction, and I wanted to really see to it that the whole kiln situation was messed up, I would probably go do something to the clay deposits too. We'd be happy to escort you for safety. Also, you should have to get out of town for a little bit. You know, go for a walk. Let the wind blow through your fur or whatever.
Go ahead and roll to convince somebody.
So we're double fours this time. So that's 8 plus 3 is 11.
In the end, does it matter? So hold on. I was getting distracted by this cat mostly.
The Marquisate
You good?
attacks. Maybe it's the Marquisate.
The whole time. Stop knocking over my stuff, even though it's right there and easily knockable. As if telling her that will solve the problem of her rubbing against the same thing each time. All right. Well, I can show you where the clay deposits are. Here. Better pack up a bit. It's a bit of a trek. Not too far out of town, but it can be a bit dangerous, so
Danger?
time to time.
I like
Danger.
it.
Why does it always have to be danger?
Well, you know, it happens. So he goes to his home to gather some of his things, including some buckets and such for gathering the clay. And I guess he'll point out like the I mean, I feel like a fair number of artisans know where to get this, and they work with other materials, but if you want like the good stuff, this is where you would go to get it. Because I mean, it's a bit manual labor to go get it, but this is for the high quality stuff and things. So you all head out of town. Excuse me, it's mostly just following along the lake. Because as he goes, he's explaining like, oh, so you need a certain part of the thing, and there's a river that runs into the lake not far from here. So when the river water silt mixes with the mud down by the shores and so on, and somehow Marsh is continuing to walk yet cannot hear. It's very exciting.
Sleepwalking.
Yeah. Let's see. Go ahead and you get to the site. It seems he's like, oh look, it's pristine, it's just fine. And for most of you, it just kind of looks like a normal riverbed situation. There's not much going. Like you're like, what do you mean special? But then he's like, here's the little hollow, and if you just get some of this and mix it with some of that. And then he's like, look at this. You know, he's showing you how he gets the clay from here. Go ahead and, unless you're super fascinated with how the clay is made, go ahead and give me a roll to read a tense situation.
Ooh.
I'm super fascinated. I'm
Right.
taking so many notes.
Cunning. Okay. So I'm like actually rolling dice. That's double fives. I have not rolled anything that isn't a double. Which makes that 11 for me.
All right.
I got a 7 with double fours and a -1.
So many doubles. What does it mean?
We're in the Matrix.
Hector and Tech.
I got a 9.
I got a 10.
Mm.
All right. So the 10 and 11 can ask 3 questions. The ones can ask 1. Who'd like to ask first?
Or you can just tell us all the things.
Act just really wants to know if the Corvid conspiracy is involved in any way and if there's any signs or standard like ways they operate that might tip them off on maybe.
Like who is in control here?
I think, Tack, that you, when Fritz was discussing things earlier about there being an explosion, and V was all like, they need to have access to explosives. I think you could recognize that this is. It does seem like something that the Corvid conspiracy could do, and would do in general.
But
So that's
why?
why.
That's the confusing part, because this isn't a controlled space by the GUD or the.
And yet the denizens rule here, and that's not the Corvid conspiracy.
Yeah, but I feel like they should be more focused elsewhere. Which is another reason why Tack would have left the Corvid conspiracy, because he's not interested in having the Corvid conspiracy in power, more so the denizens in power. The whole point was to be freedom fighters, not just another ruling organization.
Yeah, no, and their MO is definitely I can be another ruling organization. Let's see some other things. So that was probably from before, as you were thinking about this. Hector, who or what is the biggest threat? You notice out of the corner of your eyes there is a you have been followed here. There
Yes,
is
Fritz is here.
There is some number of you're thinking probably other citizens from town. You're not entirely sure.
Have they signed up to the Historical Society?
I think some of them have.
Nice.
Yes. Any other questions? They're hiding.
Do I know how many there are, roughly?
About a dozen.
Fritz is just waiting for the place to explode.
Yes. Did we cover? So we covered who's in control here and what should I be on the lookout for, right? Or did we cover who or what is the biggest threat and who's in control here?
Control here. Well, I mean, they're the biggest threat. You're probably on the lookout for them, perhaps attacking you. They do seem to be holding weapons.
Oh, all right.
I would like to discreetly let Tack know that I have noticed these people while this lecture on the properties of clay is going on.
I think Tack is going to definitely be on the lookout more so for people that could possibly be agents of the Corvid conspiracy. Because the reason Tack could see them wanting this place is it is a strategic place because it's between the two GUD cities. So this is a pretty strategic town to have control of, but they're also kind of shooting themselves in the foot because they're weakening it.
It would also make a great mud bath.
I suppose.
If you mention mudbath, he's like, oh no, this would be horrible for mudbath. You see, the minerals inside of this stuff is like blah blah blah, and they really get into your fur. Like, my fur's pretty rough because of all of the, etc. etc. He has not noticed the other people who are here.
Wow.
What do you do?
Oh, it looks like we have an audience, everyone. Sotto voce.
We have a what?
I don't fling mud at V's face. We have an audience. We should probably do something about that. And then I will begin to sing and dance quite loudly.
Mm-hmm.
He does this often, so it's not really a surprise to anyone.
No,
Yes.
not really.
Mark is living in a musical.
I am making an outlandish performance. not doubles, but a 10. So finally. And that is everyone gets a +1 to sneak, hide, pickpocket, or trust fate while I'm performing. And I can spend a hold to give someone +3 instead. I think I will give Tack a +3 to do any of those things.
You don't have to. You can spend the hold when
Okay.
it seems appropriate.
Okay. And this is going to impress and things them.
Yeah, they're as far as you can tell, everyone is mostly confused, but they are watching you.
Yes.
What do the rest of you do?
I am going to discreetly move in between the watchers and the brick person, whatever he is.
The mason.
Is he a mouse or?
He is a beaver.
Oh, like Rodia.
Yes.
Is he a relative?
No, not all beavers are related.
I don't care about him then.
Oh, I know a
died.
beaver. Do you know this beaver? It's like, we don't all know each other, dude. Actually, they might. You never know.
Fritz, you're up.
Can Fritz attempt to slip into the woods and hide in a tree
You sure
with the
can.
attempt to
You don't have to tell me what you're going to do next.
Okay.
You don't have to tell anyone
I
what
feel
you're
like
going to
it
do next.
might involve
We all
exploding
know.
people.
We all
Yeah,
know.
I feel like somebody else
So
is gonna get
if you
hit.
have the hide roguish feat, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, it's trusting fate.
I do have hide.
And add a +1 from me, regardless of whether it's trusting fate or hide.
Okay.
So the roguish feat is with plus finesse. And then the +1 from Marsh.
That's a 12.
All right. You do what you intend to do, which is slip into the woods unnoticed by the people watching. All right, V?
I will use my slingshot and fill it with some clumps of clay and throw it to confuse their senses.
Haha. All right, so go
I think-
ahead and roll that.
I think
He
it's
says,
plus
not remembering
defense.
how all of the weapon moves work.
When you throw something to confuse an opponent's senses at closer intimate range, roll with finesse. On a hit, you've thrown them off balance, blinded them, deafened them, or confused them, and given yourself an opportunity. On a 10 plus, they have to take some time to get their bearings and restore their senses before they can act clearly again. On a 7 to 9, you have just a few moments.
All right.
So I got a 10.
Ooh.
Perfect. So I think you've probably found someone who is more or less like you had to slide up towards one of the hiding spots because close range, but they weren't really paying attention.
Yeah.
And then you, I presume, blind them with clay in their eyes.
Pocket clay.
Pocket clay, yeah. a perfect use of clay. And the Mason loves this. So he, this guy's like, and drops his weapon and just starts like trying to wipe his eyes clear. And someone else, you can hear no one go like, shh. And then the Mason turns and says, what? A name quickly? Stotzi? What are you doing here? And he whirls about, and the Mason now has finally noticed all of the other people here and is surprised and annoyed. You followed me to get to my secret clay deposit spot? And they're all like, yeah, now we'll be the ones in charge of the good clay. Get them! And they all spring out of the woods. Let me just use a couple of major banes, because I noticed a couple of you like redeem them for each other. So
somebody started it.
Well, here I am with the consequences of some actions. As a couple of the groups immediately swarm both Tack and Hector, pelting them with, I'd say, generally non-lethal kinds of hits going on here. So both of you can mark an exhaustion as they come in, and you are swarmed in intimate range with at least 3 combatants each.
How many are there total, would you say? Roughly?
About a dozen.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
Yeah. They don't seem particularly well armed, and you've recognized a few of them in town, and judging from how the Mason reacted, I think you can make some educated guesses as to why they are here.
They went to seize the means of production.
Yes. Exactly. So the remainder, one of them comes into close range at V, threatening with a small club, and the rest aim at ranged at both V and Marsh. I don't believe they have eyes on Fritz currently. Generally using slings, a few bows and arrows around, but mostly like slings. Excuse me. What do you do?
I would like to coat my weapon in, well, probably I'll use acrobatics to get some distance from people first. But ultimately, I want to coat my weapon in the poison I marked depletion for last session.
Oh, yeah, the poison.
Is that sleepy time poison?
Sleepy, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not trying to, like, murder a bunch of people that wanted to know where clay was.
Go ahead and roll acrobatics.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
All right. So you do what you are setting out to do. I am going to hold on one second. Because I think generally when you are switching range, it usually involves melee stuff and not just straight acrobatics, but I think that's fine for this case. As you go ahead and do that, they do end up tearing at one of your pouches a little bit, so mark a depletion as something falls out. Probably carrot cake, not gonna lie. Kind of splats onto the ground there. But you get the range that you wish and can apply the poison, so you can mark the depletion for that. The 3 of them, one of them gives chase, so they're approaching close range again on you, Tack. The other 2 pull out their slings and will be threatening to shoot at you. But we can move on to what Hector is doing.
So I have my bow has oiled strings, which allows me to make a quick shot, which is a close range with a bow. So I'm going to be shooting.
They are at intimate range with you because they are like grappling with you, which is closer than close. So you will need to figure out a way to drop range first. Or like move away from them. which I think first try grappling an enemy, because what you can do when you do this is that you can withdraw to close range.
Okie doke.
So that's a roll with might.
That would be 11, so succeed, I believe.
All right. So you get to make a choice first, and then you'll both make a simultaneous choice. So basically, in this case, you can do one of the other actions before you withdraw to close range. So you can either strike a fast blow to inflict injury, you can wear them down, they mark exhaustion, you exploit weakness, mark exhaustion to inflict 2 injury, and then you can withdraw to get to a close distance.
I would like to inflict an injury.
All right.
And then I guess withdraw for my second.
All right. Before you withdraw, they a tit for tat, and they inflict an injury upon you as well as you claw at them or what have you, and then they in return swipe at you with like, what you think actually upon further reflection is a kitchen knife and not really a dagger, but listen, it still cuts. So that's what you do there. And then we'll just stay with you here if you would like to use your bow attack at this point.
I would,
like you're
yes.
going to.
So that would be 7.
All right. And yeah, go ahead and if you have that up.
So that allows me to move quickly and change positions again. So I'm going to move into, I suppose that's long range, unless there's a medium.
No, it's far. Yeah.
And in that case, I'm just going to move.
All right. And does it do some injury or?
Yes, it automatically does 1 injury, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Are you aiming for murders or not?
I am aiming at one of the ones that was attacking SJ. And this is injury to do harm, yes.
But I mean, like, in character, are you, like, going for a headshot, or are you just trying to wound them?
I think that, as a quick shot, it's probably just a general body shot rather than something specific.
Okay.
To be fair, they are literally attacking us with knives. So.
But it's a kitchen knife. Completely different.
Not different.
They want to trick us.
Listen, the clay game in this town is much deeper than you thought it was.
The clay mafia has arisen.
Yeah. Clamafia, if you will.
Yeah.
Fritz, what are you doing?
Oh god.
So, from the trees, whichever one is closest to Fritz would like to hop down from the tree, break out the ceremonial sword, and attempt to backstab them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the... Wait, do you have the backstab roguish feat, or are you just attacking?
Just attacking.
The problem with a backstab feat. So go ahead and roll to engage in melee. Unless you have a more specific player book thing.
So I'm going to use better lucky than good, which is when you use a weapon move, basic or skilled. So does that include engage in melee?
It does not. It have to be one of the specific moves that's tagged on the weapons that you also know.
Okay.
So if you were parrying or something of that nature.
So Fritz got a 5.
Did you want to change that, or are you just going to live your best life?
Can I try to change that?
You can try. You can use a boon.
Yeah. Can I use a major boon?
You may.
Oh, that's so much better. That'll be a 7. Yeah.
Okay. So on a hit, you trade harm. So on a 7 to 9, you can pick one from the list, which is to inflict serious, which is +1 harm, to suffer little harm, which is -1 harm, to shift your range 1 step, and or to impress, dismay, or frighten your foe.
I think Fritz is just trying to do damage, so do serious harm, so +1 harm.
Okay. I think this guy might be dying. And you are using the sword.
Yeah. The ceremonial sword that everybody hates.
Yeah, as soon as you appear out of the woods and attack, and this guy falls to the ground with a gargle, but not before his buddy turns, is like no, and stabs at ye. So you take 1 injury, and then at that moment he notices the sword and says, "Oh my God, it's the Marquisit! The Marquisit!" Say everybody, "The Marquisit are back! Get them! Get them!" And all weapons train on you, Fritz. And a round of shots fire. What do you do?
Does parrying work for that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, probably not actually, but let's take a look. Because what if it's just like a monk's? I feel like it will work for some of them, because I feel like a few of them are at close range. When doing this, like the guy who just stabbed you is probably going to try to stab you again, so you may parry. This is normally to mark an exhaustion and roll with finesse.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Can I use a major boon?
You may. Everybody, I'm going to use Major Banes, me, but the real person who gets punished is Fritz.
That's a 7.
Okay. So you consume their attention. On a 7 to 9, you can pick one. You can inflict morale or exhaustion harm. You disarm your opponent, or you don't suffer any harm.
I think Fritz would like to not suffer any harm.
That does sound good. So the guy who is he comes at you again with his makeshift blade, which you parry, and there's a few rounds of this as you are also dodging the volleys of mostly sling stones coming at you. One of them does graze your shoulder just because of the extreme number of hits. You can't really parry that with your sword, so just mark in exhaustion for that. V, what do you do?
Oh, goody. I pocket clay. Two.
Pocket clay. Okay. Go ahead and roll.
That was an 11.
Yeah, so there's one standing in front of you, wiping their eyes, and another one was advancing on you with their threatening kitchen knife, and you pocket clay them too, and now they're standing there trying to wipe their eyes of clay. So that's what those two are up to. Marsh, you've been being loud this whole time.
Yes.
What would you like to do?
I am transitioning from performing. Is there like an obvious like ringleader, like the one who's yelling at people, yelling orders to people?
There is likely one. It's probably the name that was said before that I've immediately forgotten. So,
You, comrade. This is precisely what the bourgeois want, to set the proletariat against each other. We are here to spread the word that the labor which is embodied in economic products as value can be uniquely attributed to the individuals who did the labor. The value of each person's contribution to society can be precisely measured. Economic justice means that each individual producer receives a share of the means of consumption proportionate to his or her labor contribution.
I hope as you're saying this, like at least one sling bullet just goes right by your head.
Yeah, he didn't care. He's used to having things thrown at him when he's performing. And I'm attempting to trick the leader into believing that we are Marxist agitators and unionists.
Right.
That was a 3 or a 5. So 7, 10, 11.
Okay. So I believe that is good, and they are going to do some things.
Yes, I would like them to hesitate and their confidence shaken, because they have found Marxist comrades.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think they take the bait and do what you want.
Oh yeah.
Because you've got to hit, and they won't instead choose one of the other things.
That's right. Stop. Cease hostilities.
If you want to, when you tell them to stop, they'll be like, settle down, everybody. Oh, but they just killed Jim Bob. He'll be all right. There's sacrifices that must be made for the betterment of the society, etc., etc.
Jim Bob is a martyr to the revolution.
Yeah, what he said. Set him down. I don't think everyone sets down their weapon, but they aren't going to keep going at it. Though I will say at least one of them like has the knife up at Fritz, like, but they're the Marquisate though. Like they got a Marquisate sword.
Oh, well, you see, we're the National Historical Society,
yes.
And that's a historical artifact that was given to my comrade for safekeeping. It wasn't intended to be used for this purpose.
Can you roll a trick at NPC?
Yeah.
National Historical Society and International Labor Union Board.
You're going to I'll have to write down all the organizations that you are at some point.
That's a 13.
Oh, okay. Really sorry about that. They say to Fritz.
Now,
but not like super excited saying sorry about that, but like I'm suspicious, but whatever.
now you
Yeah, I
realize
can
that
see they're
seizing the means of
clearly
production,
awesome.
seizing the means of production and destroying the means of production are very different things, right? Like it doesn't actually advance your proletariat aims to destroy the means of production.
What do you the flood destroyed the means of production?
That's
Like
not what I heard.
Okay, well, the flood did it, and then Mason here, Longtooth, has never told us where he gets the good clay. And if we're going to have to rebuild the wall and the kiln, we're going to need the good stuff. So we thought we'd follow him. And since you'll have to be going out there for whatever reason, we thought we'd follow along, figure out where it is.
Well,
You
just go
didn't have
home
to
then.
attack the historical society.
Yeah.
Is there not like, is the land not owned?
I think you all are far enough outside of town that it is not technically owned by anybody. This is not an area that is.
Yeah, then he
Under
really
any-
doesn't have exclusive claim to it or anything.
I know it's one of those things where he's never told anybody where he gets
Yeah.
the good clay. So it's his trade secret kind of thing. He's rather put off that they know where it is. And also the fact that he was loudly explaining the ratios needed.
Mm.
Gonna just slip my notes into my backpack. Don't worry about it. I've got plenty of pocket clay.
Well, and the Mason's probably like, well, listen, this has been something that's been held by my family for generations. I don't understand why I need to be sharing where this is. This is a limited resource. If this clay runs out here, and you can't always harvest the good clay, because you see if it, and he explains for several minutes about how it refills and so on. Marsh is probably struggling.
Yes, but don't you want the kilns to be rebuilt? And wouldn't it be best if they were rebuilt with this clay? So wouldn't it be good to let other people use this clay to help rebuild the kilns?
You can persuade an NPC. She doesn't like sharing.
Sharing is caring, damn it. I got a... That's plus charm 8.
You need to do something to sway them right away. Let's see. So what are you asking? You should
Let
should
other
build the
people use the
kilns.
clay to rebuild the kilns.
You will need to get the other party to say that's what they're going to do, because it's not entirely obvious that's what they were going to do with the clay.
Hey.
I mean, it's important because the kilns are an investment. That's like
Yeah,
the thing
leader
you
of
need
the
to process it.
people. You guys want to
Alright.
help rebuild the kilns?
All right, says the other leader, whose name's like Xian or something. Doesn't matter. He's all like, okay, but listen, those weren't our kilns to use. Those are Mason Longtooth's kilns. We've never really had equal access to them. We've had to use some of the other lesser kilns in the area, or just send whatever clay we found, shipping off wherever else. So I don't know if it's really in our interest to speed up this recovery effort of these kilns,
Well, then why don't you guys work out a business deal where it benefits both parties?
Yes.
All right,
And then
now
you can work together.
Yes,
now
I'm-
persuade these NPCs.
I'll write up a
Contract
legally binding
negotiations,
contract.
everybody. This is the exciting part.
yes.
These unprecedented
Yeah.
times.
I got an 11.
There you go. So they're like, yeah, listen, we could Longtooth, I know we've had our differences, but we could work something out. You know, me and the guild here, we could work with you to rebuild the kilns, maybe have a little more equal time. We won't take all, we can respect the amount of clay that's here, of course. We don't want to ruin a good resource for all of us. And the Longtooth kind of nods in agreement as this goes on, and they say, well, let's get something on paper.
Yes.
With pleasure.
And the afternoon spent with some contract negotiations. V is having a great time. Marsh is probably bored half the time, and the other half suddenly spurts awake like.
I mean, I'm staring off into space, and then occasionally we'll be like, remember to include the formal nationalization of the clayworks industry.
And of course, in between all of these papers is a little document saying that they're going to join the Historical Society.
Yes, and they're going to
Historical
make yearly
Society and Labor Union.
contributions as a business.
And then we combine make sure that when you're finished with all the negotiations and things, that we bind it up in a little red book that we can print out and give to other people.
Well, there's not really a printing press in town. Well, no, there's one printing press in town,
Yeah.
but
We'll have to
But
nationalize
there
that as
is a
well.
kiln. We could make clay tablets.
Yes.
Dak is just annoyed because they wasted their sleepy poison on their weapons and then we stopped fighting, so now they're just cleaning everything up.
well, we can just say that you did stab somebody with it.
Yes.
And they fell asleep.
I got one.
Unlike Jim Bob, who was dead.
One died due to the stabbings, and another
that's
one with
fine.
sleepy poisons.
Because look at this beautiful... Look, we are so good at forming beautiful unions. Now, hopefully none of you get kidnapped.
Yes, it's true.
Marsh is even sleeping next to that person who got stabbed.
Wait, the dead one or the sleeping one?
Okay, so now what do you do? Contract negotiations have gone well.
Yes. Well, but now we need to figure out what actually happened to the kilns. Because I assume at this point Fritz has mentioned a number of times finally going, but the kilns were boom. And finally that gets through someone's thick skull. It's like, the kilns were boom? Oh, you mean someone blew them up?
Yes, blown up, and they would have had to have access to explosives, which is not super common. So
I mean, actually, from our perspective, it's very common.
Fritz is
Did
an
we do
outlier
it?
and should not be counted.
We didn't blow them up, did we?
No, we were on the lake.
Oh, right, alibi.
Yeah, because that's
A
where
normal
we
way to
were.
describe it
Yes.
is to say, oh no, alibi.
Well, since we didn't blow them up, someone else clearly did. So,
If if the explosives came in from outside of town, then somebody must have brought them in.
yes.
Was there a stranger in town, perhaps, or is there somebody who traveled outside of town for some reason?
Is your girlfriend an illegal arms dealer?
I support Rhodia in all her choices.
Oh, that wouldn't
All
make
of them,
sense 'cause
huh?
we were on the boat.
It's true.
While this
Although-
conversation is going on, can Fritz cover up the sword again?
Yes, you may.
Are we going to bury the body, or
They can
That'd
bury
probably
their
be
own
nice
body.
to do. I mean, there's also a graveyard in town. They're all kind of from town.
right? But are we going to tell town that we've killed one of them, or is this a conspiracy?
Oh, it's a conspiracy. For sure.
I mean, I feel like listen, they kind of attacked you. They went into this knowing that something, because they knew you were a bunch of vagabonds. Like, that's why they brought over a dozen people, because vagabonds are kind of scary. So, but lots of things are worth the continual production of goods and services
Yeah.
in a collective guild group.
It's true. And you know what they say? Mess with the moose, get the hoof.
What's a moose?
You know what moose are?
The
They're
stilt
terrifying.
monsters. Yeah, the terrifying stilt monsters that will put your eye out.
Them.
Yeah, I know. We are the moose in this metaphor. See, I know what metaphors are. Or is it a simile? Anyway.
I don't want to be a stilt monster.
I mean, you kind of already are. Have you seen your legs?
They're pretty
I know.
My legs are amazing. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Not as good as mine, but
It's
You
true.
all have wonderful legs.
It's true. Ours are a little stubby, but that's fine. So, all right. So we've nationalized the primary industry in town. We can call that a win. We've made history yet again. So that's all good. But now we have the mystery of who it was that was sabotaging the things. If only we knew someone who knew people who knew shady, sussy things. Spritz, spritz, spritz. Tack.
are we alone?
Sure.
Yeah, you could have this conversation privately without the. Because I assume you might have asked the guild members and the mason a little more, like some more of those leading, and it blew up kind of questions, and
Right.
everyone's just like, "What are you talking about?" Is generally the read that you're getting.
Yeah, they were sabotaged. But anyway.
There is a bit of a Corvid presence that I've noticed in Oakenhold.
Well, we should go talk to them. They usually know all the, underhanded things going on in town.
Or have a hand in the underhanded things going on in town.
But why would they do that?
I like holding hands.
This is a very strategic position, given that the GUD has the two towns on the other side of the ferry and the town above.
Yes, but weakening it would only make it easier for the duchy to invade and consolidate power, right?
My thoughts exactly, but who knows?
Let's
It
just go
seems-
ask them.
Yes.
I think we should be careful. It's just the Corvid conspiracy. Part of the reason I left is they were getting a little power hungry, a little bit, kind of lost their way a bit as to their original purpose. So I wouldn't be surprised if they figured out a way to weaken the city, thinking they could take it before the GUD so that they could then make it stronger. But hopefully that's not the case.
Well,
That said, these kind of tactics of blowing up the kiln and covering it up with a huge tsunami is not exactly a GUD. I mean, we have their tactics book. That's not really anywhere in there.
If it was an outsider and it didn't come from a GUD town, then it must have come through the clearing of Ice Trap.
Corvid
Or
Conspiracy has a
Over
presence
the-
there as well.
Mm.
So
well, it sounds like we should go and talk to them and then just be prepared for it. You may have to ask them to marry you.
what?
You know.
No,
Please
what?
come to that.
You know how that works.
I'm so confused. What? How did we
Wedding
get to
planners.
marriage?
Well, you've seen Fritz propose before, right? Remember those bandits in the woods that Fritz proposed to before they mysteriously
Gotcha.
died
Yeah,
by being blown
giving
to
them
pieces?
a ring. I understand.
yes.
Okay.
That's a euphemism.
Yeah. Okay. I
Like an in-joke euphemism. The worst, best kind?
Worse.
Yes.
Also more confusing because in theory you're also wedding planners. So
yeah.
Yes.
Wedding
It all
planners, national
brings
historians.
together. Yes.
And we're going to marry every single member of the Historical Society to someone.
Oh gosh.
Yes. Marry or bury.
That's so many weddings.
a lot
I
of
think
planning.
I should maybe take point on this.
It's true. They won't be intimidated because you're so small.
And you still got yellow spots.
Mm. Although
No,
it
I
looks
think
like
those definitely got.
there's a little bit left. It looks
Hector,
more like
how much do you have to drink?
yellow pox than spots. But oh well, it'll wash out. We can refresh
I
it.
mean, it's probably just like
I don't think I would want yellow spots anyway, considering that's probably what they would have been looking for, since
Pink.
that's what I had. Pink. What frog is pink? What?
I don't know.
Something like maybe like a blue dart frog or something.
But the whole point is if it's pink and there's no other pink dart frogs out there, so well clearly you aren't the yellow one because the yellow one isn't pink.
Yeah, but if there's no pink ones, that would also raise alarm. Like, okay, that can't be real.
Well, what good self-respecting person who was trying to be in hiding would call attention to themselves by having pink spots?
Instead of spots, it should be racing
You
spots.
just want to paint me pink.
Yes. But anyway.
paint your nails. Only.
But anyway, we
it's
have
your
to go
frog
deal with
friend.
this conspiracy stuff because we have a graveyard to haunt tonight. So chop chop.
All right, I need to refresh my stock though.
Stock of.
I used some of my stuff during that scuffle and lost some of my stuff during that scuffle. So I'm not trying to say like, oh, I lost my poison, guys.
Oh. Well, I'm sure it'll go
you-
fine.
Game mechanic wise, you can always just kind of assume that you still have some of the depletion stuff is just represents you happen to have it. So having set up at some point you made poison, you can still have the poison. It's just sort of like,
Yeah.
you only used a little bit here, a little bit there.
Okay,
At some point you might run out of depletion in a general sense, and then you'd have to figure out a different way to get it. But stuff turns into depletion and then comes out as whatever you need is the exciting thing.
Gotcha.
About depletion.
Okay, cool.
To the
Sounds
docks.
good.
All right, so you all traipse back to town. It's a little awkward, but there's lots of business talk going on behind you. And those who do not need a recovery from any amount of injury immediately set to working on the kiln, like helping, organize where bricks are going and, working with the mason to lay out plans of like, if we make the small kiln, we're going to fire the bricks and then make a bigger kiln and so on until we've made a grand new design, etc. Your song lyrics are being referenced multiple times. But the rest of you head to the docks. What do you do?
I want to try to find that one dock worker that I pinged as Corvid.
Yeah.
But I want to subtly kind of give off signs that I'm also Corvid and get them to talk to me in a very subtle way to come over.
Yeah.
I also don't want all of everybody else around me.
What do you mean?
Me
They're
too.
excellent help.
Yeah. We'll just step to the side and be the National
you
Historical
guys-
Society signups.
Full of subtlety. While we're here, Fritz is injured again, but with a one injury could clear it with marking a depletion for supplies if the vagabond treats your wound, or you can use one value of supplies at the healer to clear that. So maybe that is what the rest of you are taking care of while Tack is out and about, unless you want someone as a backup situation.
I am also injured and therefore will also be healing.
Okay.
If Tack is going off by themselves, I will, as everyone is being treated, I will sing little songs so we can recover some extra exhaustion.
Okay.
And my song is United Forever in Friendship and Labor. Our mighty republics will ever endure. The great woodland union will live throughout the ages. The dream of people, their fortress secure. Long live our woodland motherland, built by the people's mighty hand, etc., etc.
Good, good. I'm glad. Tack, as you look around the docks, obviously the activity at this point is probably late afternoon, getting into evening time. So not too much activity at the docks. Some easy questions, though, find where everyone has been hanging out when they're not working during the day. Well, it used to be a place right on the docks, but that's kind of a bit soggy right now. So there is another general tavern situation a little farther in to town that did not suffer as much damage, and that's where a lot of the dock workers have been going currently. When you get there, there's plenty of people in there. I think a lot of the people who've been working on the walls and so on have been looking for a little relaxation after the day. And a scan around the place, you do see the let's see again, the hawk in question. So what do you do?
I'm gonna subtly catch his eye and kind of give him a sort of like odd look of like, hey, come follow me, look over here type thing.
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll. I don't know if there was a roguish feat that would exactly cover what I want this to be. So you could either do persuade an NPC or just trust fate.
What is plus trust fate plus?
Luck.
Okay, well, take that because my charm is -1.
Yeah.
That said, I still only got a 6.
Okay. Don't mind me just looking up a thing. Everything will be fine for you. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I guess.
No. I mean, the thing is, I think they get your message, but I think they might misinterpret what's going on with the situation. So they catch your eye and they see you do the thing, and they will follow. They do what you want right now, which is to follow you out.
Gotcha, but they're suspicious, and yeah.
It's definitely more of a they are suspicious about what's going on. You might not pick up on that, but at any rate, they will follow you to where you are going.
Ooh. So I don't want to go anywhere like crazy far. I'm not trying to go out of, public eye or anything. I just want to get them alone and talk to them. So it's not like I'm dragging them behind an alley or something. Just maybe a more secluded corner.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So all right, so we're in the corner, and I'll just mention, So, I noticed you were Corvid.
They give a little nod. Say. And then they look you up and down briefly, and they're like, but I don't think you are. What brings you to town?
Used to be. You may have heard of things that happened in, oh geez, what's the name of the town we just came from? Rooston. So, might not be a full-time member anymore, but still do some work for them here and there. Just really trying to get a pulse on what exactly is going on here, because clearly the flood wasn't the cause of the kilns. And I'm not sure if it's you, the Corvid conspiracy, is doing for some reason, or if it's something bigger that I need to worry about and try to get to the bottom of, or is it something I need to leave alone?
Well, he said he if he had fingernails, he'd be pulling out his knife to like, clean them. So he's doing whatever the bird equivalent of that is.
Right.
Like yeah, preening feathers, somehow a knife is also involved.
Basically, Tack is trying to give the impression of, if it's a Corvid conspiracy thing, okay, but like I'm thinking it might be GUD or Erie Dynasty or something, and I'm gonna get involved.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of trying to make them think I'm on their side.
Yeah. I think he's fine, because he'll just be like, well, what I'd say is that if you're not part of the conspiracy, then you don't need to be messing around with what's going on here in town with those kilns.
Can I figure someone out?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, it's also charm.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
All right, well, I got a 9, which turns into an 8.
All right, that's still
I have -1.
Hold 1 and you can ask a question.
I already know they want me to drop it, essentially. What does the character intend to do? What does the character believe? I'm trying to figure out what question will answer what I'm trying to figure out. Because ultimately, I just want to know if this is them.
I mean, you can just ask that.
Yeah, I just want to know if, are they the ones that blew up the kiln?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get that from I presume there might be a little more idle back and forth, but yes.
So, no offense, but this is kind of why I left the conspiracy. The tactical decisions are just getting sloppier and sloppier as you guys vie for power, but hey, I walked away. You guys are going to do what you're going to do. I just wanted to know it wasn't GUD, because that's who my real focus is at the moment.
Well, it sounds like you've been doing your best. Great catching up with you. Love to see you again sometime in town, he says, patting you on the shoulder, like loudly exiting the conversation as if it was an amiable chat the whole time.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to go back and find the group.
Hanging out at the healer's house.
So, yeah, it seems, unfortunately, the Corvid conspiracy seems to be at the center of all of this. Not sure how. Didn't want to ask too many questions and get too many alarms raised. That said, could still be the case. I tried to play the angle of, hey, I used to be one of you. I'm, difference of opinion, not anymore. My real focus is the GUD. Just wanted to make sure it was them. If it's you guys, I'll drop it. If it's not, I'm going to get involved. And they seem to hint that it was them and to let it go.
They sound like anti-revolutionaries to me.
Unfortunately, they seem to be heading that way more and more.
Well, we should put a stop to that.
I agree.
We could tell everyone. Conspiracies thrive in secrecy, right? We can just lay it all out there on Front Street.
We would need a lot more evidence. They're very good at keeping their secrets.
Or we can just convince people without evidence. People do all kinds of things.
3.
I worry about putting too much focus on the Corvid conspiracy to where then the town is vulnerable to the GUD. A very complicated situation. A lot of vying factions. You go against one, you give it an opportunity to the other. It's a very lesser of two evils situation.
We could lie and say it's a Marquisate plot.
One's been seen recently.
Yes.
It's not the worst idea. We definitely want the town to be more aware
Yes.
of what's happening
Yes.
and that these factions are trying to take control.
Yes, and we don't have to name any particular faction. We can just let their natural suspicion fill in the blanks.
And give them evidence of, hey, obviously there was sabotage here
Yes.
or foul play. This was not a natural disaster.
Yes. And then they can be on guard. And then we can get out of here so we don't have to deal with any of the aftermath. It probably means we need to have a backup headquarters of the Historical Preservation Society just in case this place gets wrecked.
Inside the kiln.
No, I was thinking in a different clearing, but that works too. Besides, I'm sure there's lots of laborers who would like to hear the good news.
Hey guys, Bea says, walking over to you. This is, of course, the raccoon lady who's in charge of the art project. So have any of you seen like an earring? It's like small and gold and has a little glass in it, and she shows you one that's on her ear and the other one is missing. She's like, I thought I had them both in one of the workshops, but one of them's missing. It really means a lot to me with my grandmother's. I was really hoping to see if you saw it. Now, of course, Hector, you recognize this. This is one of the baubles that you stuck into your pocket when you were taking things.
Yes, I saw it. Well, I don't want to tell tales out of school, but I saw a hawk wearing it.
A hawk? Really?
A
What
hawk.
do they look like? It's on the NPC page.
They look like the description on the NPC page.
Oh, you mean oh yeah, his name is Duggan. I guess you probably knew this. He might have introduced himself to you at least, Tag. White and dusty brown striped feathers with sharp yellow eyes. Hector says,
I do.
descriptively. Oh wow, really?
His eyes had a really vicious gleam to them. I think he might have been a pirate or something.
Really? Do you think I should just ask for it back? Why would he have gotten it?
Well, he's a pirate. They like treasure. But I'd be careful because there was also this penguin about who was also pirating on the high seas.
Well, now that you mention it, Hector, I mean, who would steal one earring? Because two is a pair, except for if you're a pirate, because pirates only wear one.
You're completely right.
You're quite the detective.
Hector, can you trick an NPC, please?
Absolutely.
And during our rest, I assume we would have recovered 2 exhaustion, correct? 1 from normal and 1 from my singing. The national anthem
Yeah,
of
you
the
might
Soviet
be
Union.
in process of resting, but I don't think it's.
Okay.
I don't
11.
think you're gonna do troubles right now. Cool. What do you want her to do, Hector? With this tale that you've told?
Hector.
Because she will do what you want. What you want.
I want her to move her focus away from me and towards the hawk.
Okay.
And
Kill the hawk.
Kill him.
Get them.
More murder.
away from me is more important than kill the hawk. But since the hawk is the only lead I provided her, I think that is going to have to be to perhaps report the hawk to the authorities.
Okay. All right. She goes like, well, thanks for this information. I'll investigate further. Maybe tomorrow, she says, because it's late.
Good luck, and let me know what happens.
I will.
Okay, my thoughts are with you.
Thank you, Hector. You're a real pal, you know?
I know, I try. It's hard sometimes, but we've all got to do our bit to be social with each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how's Radia's doing? She left, right?
Yeah, she's gone back. She's on the ferry, you know, and she's never coming back, and she's leaving me forever. But I'm soldiering on.
No. I'm so sorry to hear that, Hector. Well, I'm sure there's other fish in the lake.
She's a type of rat, I think.
Sorry, what was that?
Well, Rodea is a rodent. She's a beaver, which is a type of rat, you know.
Yeah,
So
it was
there's
just
another rat in the sea, you know.
another rat in the sea. I don't think that's exactly how metaphors work, but I suppose it's a rather silly one.
Well, thank you for your thoughts, and I appreciate it. You're a good friend.
Oh, thanks. You too.
Hey,
Right.
tonight we're going to be going and visiting a grave to see ghosts. Would you like to come along?
She's looking at you to see if you really want her to come look at ghosts or not, because it's one of those she'd rather not, but also you did just invite her after this conversation to go look at ghosts. So
I am looking blithe and innocent.
sure, what the heck? I'll go ghost hunting with you.
Excellent.
Where are we going? Just the cemetery?
Oh, yes. You can stand right next to Fritz, and I'll stand on the other side. And that way you'll be quite near the torchlight. It'll be fine.
Ah, yes, the torchlights. So unless anyone else does anything, we can just cut to the graveyard where Fritz is standing holding two torches?
Why did we get Fred's 2 torches? I thought this was a good idea.
No, because then their hands are full and they can't do worse things.
Their hands are full of fire.
Well, it's better full of fire than grenades, don't you think?
Barely.
Oh, spirits of, I don't know, town or something. Is anybody here? Speak to us. Give us your wisdom so we can write it down. Or something.
I guess it would be pretty interesting to talk to ghosts.
It's incredibly silent.
Tact does not like this.
Faye is pulling up her jacket that she brought, looking, and you know what? Standing closer to Fritz, not knowing that this is in a very explosive situation.
It's so
Because
quiet.
Fritz got the torches.
It's too quiet.
I mean, I think this is normal quiet for nighttime in a cemetery.
I'm trying to peer into shadows, but I can't see where the shadows are because it's nighttime.
Yes. So how long do we stay there spooking ourselves out? Did you hear that?
It's probably a while.
Sounds like voice. Woohoo! Oh, that's an owl. Never mind. Maybe it's an owl ghost.
Nope, just a regular owl doing my
Ooh, it's speaking
nightly
to us.
song routine.
Even after death, it maintains its nightly routine.
I'm not dead. It's
It doesn't
me,
even know it's
Edgar.
dead. Oh, poor
I
Edgar.
just live near the graveyard
Ah, yes.
because I'm the gravekeeper.
Yes, you do a great job, Edgar.
Yes.
Oh, thanks, V. It's good to see that you're back in town.
Oh,
to see you
it
too.
knows you, V. It's come to visit you. Do you have any secret messages for V from beyond?
Clean up your trash when you're done.
Yes. Yes.
Hey.
We'll write that down, V. The afterlife wants us to clean up our trash.
Still not dead.
They're green ghosts.
Pick me on a piece of paper and stick it to Marsha's back.
Ooh, a spectral manifestation.
I don't think ghosts like you, Marsh.
Everybody roll trust fate.
Oh boy.
What is my luck?
At a 7. It's not horrible.
8.
Also an 8.
9.
10.
All right. So as you all are spooking each other out, eventually you reach the Master Tibbus grave site. It's still a fairly new grave as far as things go. And it's well maintained. You suspect that might be because of your friend Keely. Did you bring anything to put on the grave?
Apple.
No.
Half-eaten apple.
Pick the apple back up, put it in a pocket for garbage. I probably picked some flowers or something.
Yeah.
They'll just take a tiny smooth rock they found and put it.
And also, rocks are,
Mm-hmm. We do like rocks.
I shall pull out a feather and put it behind the headstone as a plume.
Fritz contemplates putting down one of the torches, but then stops.
And then we all turn and look at B.
Yes. Expectantly.
You don't have to put anything on the grave, B.
Oh, right. Her. I said V for a minute. I'm like, oh, V did something, and V's all like, oh, I didn't realize we were going to stop somewhere. Second, I guess so. Though, sorry for your loss again, V.
It's okay. He was good while he was alive. And there's so much to remember him by in death.
He was good while he lasted.
Hey. Look, everyone. My apple is gone. It's a sign.
And as you say this, Marsh, a incredibly cold breeze whips past you all and does in fact put out both of the torches.
Okay, can we leave now?
The yelp.
No, it's just getting good.
And then V, you think for a moment before you can see the outline of your master standing in front of you at the gravesite. As you should see, a ghostly pale blue. He is. I didn't put him in one of my things. I forgot to say what kind of creature he was.
Oh, he was an otter too, wasn't he?
I don't think we've ever really decided because he wasn't going to show up, and yet here he is.
I don't think we ever said.
He is now.
He's an otter now.
And looks at you, V.
I toss the apple at him.
It goes right through him, leaving a little wisp of ghost or fog. A little wisp of ghost, a little wisp of fog, or ectoplasm, I guess, whichever. Behind, and you can see him turn and look, and then like sigh, and another cold breeze goes past. What do you do?
Master Tibbets, is that you?
The figure nods.
Can I try to figure someone out?
Sure.
Did anyone bring any salt?
Okay, that's a 7.
All right, so you can ask a question.
Is this character telling the truth? Is it Master Tibbets?
Yes.
Oh no.
He's judging you. You can feel it.
What? I didn't think ghosts were real.
Yeah, I didn't either, but everyone passed their luck roll. So here we are.
No, it would have been no ghost show up if Tack had good luck. Unfortunately, I rolled the lowest out of all of the luck, even though I technically succeeded.
Well, B, this is your chance to make peace with the dearly departed or something.
This is your chance to get Keely in trouble one last time.
Yes. Please stick it to her.
So, Master, we're building this National Historical Society.
Labor union.
In your previous home. It's not, well, we also formed a labor union, but that's separate from the National Historical Society. Regardless, we built a society that's dedicated to preserving history, and we were trying to get Keely involved, but Keely was like, no, this is stupid. So, just like that, you should know that. And also, I learned a lot about the Great Underground Duchy because I found one of their books about their tactics.
Found, stole, elaborate plot to...
Turns out he was a ghost spy all along. He's taking this back with him.
Oh, and also I'm a wedding planner now, too.
Yes.
I have a lot of career options.
It's true. We're just making history left and right. Also, if Keely doesn't follow in your footsteps and take appropriate leadership of the newly formed Historical Preservation Society, you should probably haunt her to make sure that she does what she needs to do. Just a little word of encouragement. Just like take some chains into your old house and shake them every time she's like, I don't want to do this.
Maybe on Christmas,
Give her a vision.
Maybe get a few other ghosts involved.
Yes.
One that shows her past or present or future.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
Yes.
Just, 3 seems like a good number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. Do you have anything you want to tell us, Master Tibbets?
Throughout most of this, I think this ghost focus has been on you. And at some point he floats towards you, and cups your head with his ghostly hands. It feels very, very cold. And he leans his head against your forehead, which is something that he used to do from time to time when you were talking or other things like that, and then vanishes. His form dissipates into a fog. It is generally unhelpful in the way of getting any information, but probably
He didn't just
emotional.
possess her, did he?
Yes, he did. V is now
Yeah,
possessed.
now I'm a ghost.
You ghost
I'm
now.
not possessed.
Welcome to your new character, Tivost.
Yes. Even more boring.
Which is basically the same character, but old.
Same
I
character,
have a-
but old.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where's the spritz bottle? Hold on. The power.
Yeah.
The power of that compels you.
Yes.
Can Fritz be trying to relight the candles?
Yes, the torches.
Yeah.
The whole time you've been like trying to light a torch, you put one down, you're trying to light the other one. It hasn't been working until the ghost dissipates, and then suddenly it immediately takes, and the torch is back.
Okay, well, all right then. We can mark that off the
That was
list.
fun. Yeah, talking to ghosts is not as informative as I thought it would be, but it was good to see him again.
I think that was the longest that I've been awake in his presence ever.
It is
That's
the
the real
longest
reason.
you've ever been awake in his presence.
I know, right?
He was definitely less scary than those stilt monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
True.
Very true.
Debatable.
All right,
All
so
right.
Wow. Sophia,
Um,
I've never seen something like that before. Y'all running the ghosts often while traveling?
I don't think so. But then again,
No,
would we
not
even know?
really. I mean, it was pretty obvious that he was
Please
a
don't
ghost.
say that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe some of them are indistinguishable from living creatures.
I think we have enough businesses. I don't know if we need to add ghost hunters to it.
He did possess you because now he can read minds.
I'm
What?
just going to start a new spreadsheet.
We are not starting a ghost hunting business.
No, we just
all
go
of our
from
businesses.
clearing to clearing, and we find people who are being pestered by the afterlife, and then we deal with it.
Okay,
For a
but
fee. For a fee.
he was a nice ghost. What if, people being pestered by ghosts, that sounds much worse. And I don't know about you, but my weapons, I'm pretty sure, don't work on ghosts.
I don't know. That's something we can figure out.
We do have a duty to the proletariat to defend them
It's true.
as necessary.
It's true. We can't be sure that the afterlife is anti-capitalist, so we do need to investigate it.
I'm sorry, how are you going to investigate the afterlife again?
Well, best be going around and hanging out in graveyards at night.
Go
On a
get
whim.
eaten by a bear and find out.
Oh no, I don't think we have to have first-person experience. No, I mean this is the way we do things. We just go, well, let's go and hang out in a graveyard and see what happens, and then things happen. So, yes.
Anyways, I think we should look at the issues in town.
Probably. Is that you speaking, or is it Master Timist?
I'm V. I've only ever been V.
That's what a possessing spirit would say.
I've been
If I
wondering
was Master Tempest, you'd be asleep.
if Fritz could identify the explosives by the kiln,
Mm.
then could Fritz link them to a different set of explosives?
Maybe. Like, I think that's within the realm of Fritz's ability.
Or yours. You know things about that too, don't you?
I do know stuff about explosives, yes.
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 Well, so do we investigate or just leap to the assumption? I mean, leaping to the assumption is much more efficient.
It is. B, do you have an opinion?
I don't know anymore.
Tech, you know these people better than we do. Should we just leap to the assumption that it was the, what's their face? Spooky crow people.
I mean, I'm not one to lean on assumptions, but I would say that's what we should be operating on for now until more information comes to light.
That's what you call an assumption. All right, cool. Then we just need to warn everyone to be on the lookout for anyone who is trying to further sabotage the kilns or the city. We don't have to be explicit about the fact that it's the Corvid conspiracy. We could just say it's anybody. The ghost of Master Tibbist came back and told us. Provided a warning for the village. His final service to town.
I feel like that is less believable.
But we have a witness.
Yeah.
Yeah, was right here.
But
Yeah,
she
but
didn't.
That isn't what happened.
Right.
Well, isn't it though?
No.
You're no fun.
I mean, I know that we lie a lot, Marsh, but it's hard to lie when you have a witness.
I never lie.
Sometimes
I just
the
say
truth is less believable than a lie anyway, even if that did happen.
fine.
What we need is somebody high up in power that we can work with
Like
to when we
Yeah, like Captain Tondrick?
right. That way when we figure out who is Corvid, we can tip them off so they can start weeding them out.
or we can just tell them, let them handle it the way that they want to.
I mean that's basically the same thing.
Sure. It's just that your way sounded like more work for us.
I mean, if we stayed here and kept trying to weed them out, I suppose, but we already know at least one,
Yes.
so we can give them a starting point.
Yes. Let's go do that then. No time like the present.
It's the middle of the night.
Well, that gives it a sense of urgency if we can wake someone up in the middle of the night.
Marsh, of course, wakes up in the middle of the night all the time for any little thing.
Yes.
All right. So what do you all do? Is that the plan?
Scamper back to town. Find the captain's house and
Knock on
hovel.
the
I don't
door.
know.
Yeah.
I try not to look too close to Fritz, who is still holding 2 torches right near the captain's house.
Yes. Did Via leave at some point, or is she still hanging out with you guys? She's probably want to go to bed.
Yeah, she probably would.
Like, dang, a ghost. Anyway, I'm tired.
You should sleep well tonight, knowing that knowing what happens to you after you die. You remain in the general locale as a spectral entity forever.
Yes, one ghost will prove this.
Yes.
Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, knocking on the door. No one answers for a bit, and then the captain opens the door, is all like, what's going on? What's the matter? Oh,
Yes.
it's you.
We have discovered a secret that you must know immediately. It's of the utmost importance.
Okay.
Can
Also, we
come
probably
in?
shouldn't talk about it in the street. They
Oh,
might be
yeah.
listening.
Let's come in.
The kiln.
The amount of awakeness has decreased immediately upon seeing it's you guys.
Yes.
First, have you heard of the Corvid conspiracy by chance?
Yeah, there's been rumors about their presence in and around the woodland.
Well, they definitely have a presence here. I've already confirmed it. I used to be a member.
Figure someone out.
Okay.
12. Is she a member of the Corvid conspiracy?
No.
Okay.
Good call, though. It's very clear that your kilns were sabotaged. It wasn't the flood that caused them that much damage and to explode.
Oh, so you mean the Mason wasn't lying about that, huh? I thought he was just exaggerating.
No, it is extremely clear and very easy to prove. Which tells us there's a faction that had a hand in sabotaging your town, likely in a vie for power. And I have confirmed by reaching out to one of the members of the Corvid conspiracy that it was them that was behind it. And your town has some Corvid infiltrators. So I can give you the description of the member that we've confirmed, and you can slowly but surely investigate. I would start with them without raising any alarm bells to see who their contacts are, who they're in with, to see if maybe there's some more higher connections. Right now, it's just a dock worker that we have, but
Who is also apparently a
be taking-
pirate. Don't forget that part. Because of the single earring that he stole from Bia.
Oh, and a thief, huh? Well, I guess if we find that earring on him, that'd be at least some excuse to get him off the street.
it might not be the worst thing to keep him there and watch him to get more information.
Okay.
Taking
Go
him
ahead.
off.
Go ahead, Tack, and persuade an NPC.
Oh, no. Okay, 8, but so that would be a 7.
No, it's still good. You need to take concrete action here now to get them to act. I mean, you are providing a lot of information about this. I think if you provide some more concrete evidence that the building was destroyed and or that this guy is who you say he is, she'll immediately be like, okay, I'll proceed with the plan that you've laid out because it makes sense to do. But like, sort of like, why should I mean, you guys been helpful, but this is kind of like a pretty outlandish thing because you've told her it's Duggan or whatever, the hot guy, right? And she's all like,
Yeah,
I know of him, he seems fine. Like,
they always do.
yeah.
That's kind of the point. That you build a rapport with people, you fall into the job to seem normal until you slowly work your way up in a position where you can be of value.
Hold on. I was just thinking about reputation moves because it is something that we have forgotten to use, and I think you guys probably have a fair amount of reputation that you could leverage here because this is a member of the denizens you're speaking with.
Ooh, sway an NPC. At +2, right? Or what does that mean?
I'm sorry, what?
Sway an NPC.
Is that one of the reputation moves?
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd have to be, you need to be a higher reputation than anyone is currently
Oh.
to do that. Yeah. Because everyone's at a 1 reputation. Well, almost everyone is at a 1 reputation with the denizens.
Yes.
I think here, can you ask for, I feel like if you want to ensure that she'll do this might be asking for a favor, which is what you can do with 1 reputation. So you can roll the 2d6 with a +1 because that is the reputation you have for the denizens.
$2d6 + 1. Me?
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah, you.
Okay, 9. Because double
9,
4s.
okay. Someone else could help you to make that a 10, which would be marking exhaustion.
Probably V or Marsh since they're from here.
Yeah.
I can, because I haven't marked anything.
Okay. So it's basically more of the same kind of argument, but I think this time with more of a tack of listen, we're here to help out you here as part of the denizens. So I think they
What do
will.
we have to gain?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
So
Yeah.
she'll at that point be like, okay, so I'll keep it under subtle investigation and see what's going on there. I'm sure that will take some time, even with especially with all of the other chaos going on. So it was just the kilns. It wasn't like the walls or anything.
We established that the walls had been struck by a wave that was further out.
Okay.
We don't know why it was. We don't know how it was caused, but
The kilns were for sure blown up.
we found direct evidence of explosives on the kilns.
Well, this is good information. Still not. You are. Is he chasing you or something that you decided to wake me up at this hour, or?
it's best that because I had to expose myself as a former member and directly spoke with this person, it's best that no one sees me coming talk to you about it.
Okay, well, thank you for the information. I will use this as needed for further investigations for the safekeeping of Oakenhold. I thank you for your service for the denizens of the town. If you would like to leave, though, if you have anything else to add, that's fine. But if you are done, you can move along. She says, heading for the door to let you out.
Let us out,
Her
push
is
us out.
in a night.
Thank you for
Portion.
the hospitality.
Yes, Fritz.
Are there any candles in the hallway of his house?
Her house. She does. I mean, she probably had some. She probably had to light a candle to come over, so there are probably some.
Fritz would low-key be lighting the candles that aren't lit
Yeah.
with the torches.
So at least the top inch has been melted away as you bring the torch in towards it. Very good. I'm sure the captain had noticed you do this, but isn't about to tell the person holding not one but two torches to stop ruining their candles, and then got distracted with the rest of the conversation. Though you can see as you're leaving, she's like snuffing out the candles as she walks by. Yeah. So if you,
Well,
unless you have something to add, she's just kind of gonna.
oh no. So, plot foiled. History preserved. Spirits communed with. I think we did a good job here.
We definitely left behind a lasting legacy.
Yes. Yes. Oh, right. And our first employee. Revolution started. I mean, our list of accomplishments just keeps growing and growing.
And yet, Rhodia is still gone.
Well, she comes back in the morning, though, right?
It'll probably be a couple days yet before she would be back from the.
Do we have to
ferry.
stay around until she comes back?
We don't have to.
You don't have to.
But
But you
as
could.
Hector said, she's never coming back, so.
Oh. Well, that's terribly sad.
You could see if she comes back or not.
I think what we do is we
No.
Could travel back to Roosted and check on her.
I don't know that. That's a good idea.
That's a terrible idea. They want to kill us there. Well, they want to kill Tack
Well,
there.
not all of them want to kill us.
They want to kill
And
Tack and
Fritz.
Fritz there. And maybe Hector.
I don't know why they would want to kill Hector. He, like, got people out, so.
Yeah,
I don't
Hector's
know.
fine.
I'm just saying the only ones with alibis are me and V. But anyway, I just think we should lie low. until Rhodia comes back. I just
Okay, but
the spirit of Master Tempest is telling me we probably shouldn't push our luck and try to create some other revolution or
How
something.
would you know what Master Tempest is trying to tell you? You never
I'm very
listened
sensitive to
him.
the spirit realm. You don't know.
yes, but if we wait for Rhodia, it's just going to be, okay, hey, we're leaving,
Well, we can go with her.
right? 'Cause she's not going to come with us. Go with her where? To
back to
Rooston? She's
Rooston.
going back and forth between the two. This is
We
her
can
work.
convince her to go somewhere else so we can spread the revolution and or the historical society.
Yeah, so you all probably are going to take. It sounds like you're probably going to take the next couple days to figure out where you want to go next. Wrap up
Restock
any
supplies and
of the work that you've done here, because I feel like after even a few days, you'll probably get some a variety of the things you did might have some level of payoff for you.
Yeah.
Among other things. So let's see. Of note that happens that over the course of the next couple days is that Bia definitely accosts Duggan the Hawk about the earring, like is stalking him around town, is asking him at some point, asks him some very pointed questions, like in public settings, and he obviously has no idea what she's talking about. I think, Tack, you probably noticed that he is looking at you like, hey, I talked with you one night, and now I'm getting asked random questions with that raccoon that you've been hanging around, but he does not approach you. I don't know if you notice any guards or not, unless you're specifically looking, probably with some sort of role regarding probably reading a tense situation or figuring someone out to see if there's anyone, other people trailing him. Bea's actions is very noticeable. Hector, she comes each night. She's like, he still hasn't said he found the earring at all. He says he doesn't even know what it is. I've showed it to him, and I think he knows what it is. Like, he looked at it, and I think he knew exactly what it was.
He's a thief. He's a pirate. He's trying to steal it from you.
Oh, yeah, well, he's not getting this one. I've made sure that the backing will come off.
Well, he's a dock worker, right? He came in to work on the walls, and once he leaves, he can just sell it or keep it in another town. You'll have to make your move before he leaves.
You're right. Maybe turnabout's fair play as far as thievery goes.
We know some very rowdy kiln workers that could back you up if you wanted to pay him a nighttime visit.
I don't know if the kiln workers actually want to do that. They indeed, as the days pass, they started to work on the kilns and refiring them and so on. The progress has seemed a bit slower. Yeah, I don't think anything else has really changed on that yet because the wall repairs are still going on. I mean, it will take quite some time for those walls to be fully set up. So let's see. The third day you're in town. So let's take care of a few things. So first of all, you are all probably paid in about one depletion each, one value each of stuff for the variety of work that you have done while in town. Just in general from the city's coffer, so you can use that value to unmark a depletion or carry it as just the value worth of thing or buy something with it or what have you. Someday I'll look up exactly how we should be managing depletion versus not depletion, but that's fine. Everyone can gain, let's see, how many things have we been doing for the denizens here? Many things.
So many things.
Many, many.
Rescuing children, preserving history.
So
Playing
you all
of other
can get,
factions.
Business deals.
all of those kinds of things. Let me look up the reputation stuff. Just 1 second here. Me wondering where that is exactly. Don't worry about it. So I think you all can get 3. It's not reputation, but the other thing. So what it's going to be doing is not marked there, Marsh. You'll be counting up from the gray box, because to get to 2,
Oh, that's right.
you'll need to go from 0 basically to 10. So you can mark 3 there.
Got it.
I think Fritz, you get half because your masks make you scary. So you can just mark. We can round it up to 2.
Okay.
Actually, no, it should be 1 because you definitely scared all of those kiln
Yeah, 'cause
guys.
you kind of murdered the one guy. Yeah.
So, and I think both V and TAC can still mark the pluses for their faction standing. So 3, not reputation, but the opposite of notoriety. Oh, here's it is. Prestige. There we go.
Prestige.
So someday Fritz will get a +1 on that, which is the opposite of what Fritz actually wants. And that's fine. TAC specifically can mark 1 notoriety with the Corvid conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
Due to your conversation and what's going to be happening, I think this guy in particular is not very pleased with how the situation is going out, and they only know to blame you.
Should we have notoriety with Great Unified, whatever, the Underground Duchy for blowing up their pirate ship?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think they're used to that kind of nonsense.
And we didn't leave.
Actually,
We didn't leave many
Fritz-
witnesses.
Fritz, you can take a couple notoriety because you were the one who blew up the ship.
Yes.
Like, for sure, that happened, and it made everything the worst for them.
I just stabbed a penguin. That's it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Sir
Yeah, that's
Icington will
Totally
remember.
innocent.
So you said a couple.
You should.
And-
I think you should mark 1, and then that will.
Yeah.
No, let's have you mark 2 because I know that's one of your goals, and we want to keep you moving. So then it will, because it doubles because of your mask. And since it has now reached the, I think that's the amount that you'll need for a to make it go down another level.
Or is it? I think you need 3 more.
I don't remember. Let me see. Because you're at -6.
Oh no, you're
let
right,
me-
because you have filled that track. So it goes down to -3.
Yeah. Yeah, which, good job, Fritz. You were feared or hated
Yes.
by the duchy.
Potatoes rain down everywhere when you're around.
Yes.
Oh, no, never mind. Undo that. You were right. You have to
Fill it all the way to the next.
you have to
empty
go
one.
all the way to the bottom to
Okay.
get to 3 because it's aiming for your next target.
Yeah.
Almost
you still,
feared and hated.
but
You
you've
were
still
reviled.
decreased your reputation.
Yes. Well, no,
Oh,
that's
got
just the
it.
notoriety. Her thing is to actually decrease her reputation. It's at some point you might want to switch that out because everyone will hate you or you're making too many friends.
Ah.
But that is neither here nor there. So, with that stuff done, let's see. Did you do anything else that needed? No, I think this should cover a lot of the reputation moves you've been making while in town. So as you on the third day, the day that Rodia's boat is expected, I presume Hector's at the docks.
Oh, every day, every hour. I'm just standing there on one leg, then on the other leg. And then when my leg gets tired, I switch again.
Yes, of course. And then you see her boat approach. And there are a fair number of passengers, but to probably your consternation, you see a sandhill crane standing far too close, you think, to Rodia as the ferry rolls up.
Rhodia? Who's this?
Oh, hey, Hector. This is Victor. Victor, this is Hector.
It's-
And Victor's all like, sup?
Rhodia, would you like to go for a meal tonight? Now you're back in town. With me?
I'd actually love to. It'd be great. And Victor is all like, oh, I thought we were going to like hang out tonight, you know? Like, just you and me and the stars and the candlelight.
I
you-
can have candles. I know Fritz. I can get candles.
Rodia looks concerned about that. You can go ahead and roll to figure someone out if you would like to read more into the situation.
I am utterly charmless, so this is a raw roll.
We have boons.
That is a 6.
Do you want to use a boon?
I don't just want to use a little boon. I want to use a major boon if we have any left.
I think so. Unless everyone used them because Sin had some troubles. Oh, there's no major boons. What a shame.
I shall take a minor boon and
All right.
move up to a 7.
All right.
And I damn you all for using my boons at the most important moment of the game.
All right. What question would you like to ask?
What does Victor wish I would do?
Oh, what does Victor wish you would do? Victor wishes you would leave. Like, go
Never.
away. um,
It is
So-
so bad.
let's see. So you said I can get candles. Also, okay. So Rudy is all like, yeah. I mean, if you want to bring out candles, that'd be fine.
Rhodia, you and I, we can go into the wilderness together, taking candles, and I'll take you to visit this marvelous, marvelous clay pit that I found. It will be me and you. It will be romantic.
Are you sure a clay pit is the most romantic place to be?
All alone. Just us. And our love.
And a bottle of hooch.
And a bottle of
And Victor's all like, don't listen to him. I've been telling you the whole time. You can never trust a heron. Like, look at this ass. Look at my crest, he says, pointing at his beautiful sandhill crane crest.
Yes.
This is the kind of plumage you want to see on a real man.
Is the captain nearby?
I mean, Rodia's the captain.
No.
Oh, the captain.
Yeah.
Probably not too far away. I don't think she's on the docks itself, but you're close to the wall and stuff.
I just thought of something. I'll be right back. Scamper. There's another one. Just arrived on the boat. Should probably take him in for questioning.
I don't think that's very subtle, do you?
No, think about it. The one who's already here in town will feel more confident in their ruse if you capture someone else and question them.
We don't just capture people who come off the ferries.
But you got to keep them on their toes. If you hope to prevent them from their dastardly plans or whatever, you have to keep them on their toes and disrupt them. They'll think twice about trying to sneak in more. Like, they're already trying to sneak in another agent. If you don't do something to disrupt that, they'll just keep filling the town up with agent provocateurs.
You need to persuade her.
So that is going to be 6, 2, 8, 11.
She says, all right, and goes off to talk with some nearby guards briefly.
Yes.
So if we cut back to the conversation, our friend, she keep misplacing my tab. Victor is still,
if that is his real name,
puffing up his feathers and, I don't know, doing the bird equivalent of flexing, which I guess is probably preening and like showing off the crest more or whatever.
There are beautiful trees around the clay pit. Absolutely gorgeous, with leaves that are green, and they would look incredibly good dead on the floor.
Are you talking about fall? Rodia asks.
I am talking about you and me together forever.
Forever's a really long time, Hector.
I know, but I've just missed you so much. You were gone forever.
It wasn't forever. It was 3 days. And Victor's all like, and at least a day and a half was spent with yours truly. And at that moment, some of the guards come by and say, Victor? And he's like, yeah. And they are all, we need to ask you a few questions.
A criminal. Rodia, you shouldn't trust this man.
Oh yeah, I definitely shouldn't trust any criminals, she says, looking at you. But like in a cute, fun way. And Victor's all like, oh, don't worry. I'll be sure to smooth this over with them easily and we can get back to it, he says. And is escorted away by the guards to somewhere else. Eridia rolls her eyes at him. It's like, can you believe that guy? He's so full of himself. It's like that the whole trip.
Terrible. You wouldn't have that sort of experience with me anyway.
Yeah. As much as a romantic clay pit dinner sounds really cool, were you like ready to leave town or something?
Oh, with you? Yes, anywhere. Oh, also, the others wanted to leave too anyway. But with you, yes, anywhere.
Except maybe Roosted.
I maybe kind of want to stop you, Roosted.
Well, where are you thinking?
Well, I think V wanted to go to Rooston for some reason.
Well, have you heard anything from Flan? About anything?
Oh, yeah, that's right. She digs in a pocket and pulls out a rumpled letter. She called me when I was in town, and hands it over to you.
Rip it open.
Yeah, like it has like a cute little like a little nose print on the seal, like sealed with a kiss, except you know, it's hard to do that with fur, so. And it's filled with we can arguably say not great poetry, but she's trying.
Aw. It's so much better than Marsha's.
Somehow it is not, but you can think.
But it is. I think it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Unbiased opinion. Perfect. Well, then, if I write another letter, do you think you could give it to her so that we don't have to go into Rooston for unrelated reasons?
Yeah, I mean, I can send it on the ferry unless you want me to go with you. I mean, because we went, then I couldn't really get it there. But
We should come with you to Rooston. You can deliver the letter, and then maybe we can convince her to come with us, and then we should go to Flathome.
now, Flathome's where you started out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flathome is where I'm wanted.
Yeah, you probably would run into Pat, who wants his stuff back that you borrowed.
Well, we have all
we
that stuff
burned so
that we
many
have to return to
bridges.
Pat, the porcupine.
I think if we were just really sneaky in Rooston, we could sneak past and check out Milltown.
Yes. Or we could go back to Patchwood. They seem right for Marshevik Revolution.
Patchwood's kind of far inland. I don't want to be gone for that long.
Well,
Radia says.
we can talk about it once we have left and we're on the sea, and the world is our oyster.
All right. So you all pack up your bags, say your goodbyes, leave some troubles behind, and get on the boat back to Rooston for a quick little stopover before you head to ?
Yes.
Which is where I think we'll pick up things later. So, huzzah.
Beautiful.
Huzzah.
And there's a scene as we're leaving of Victor running to the dock. No, don't leave me.
Yeah, exactly.
He starts to flap towards the boat, and then you hear a single F sharp twang and then a splash.
Victor, another lifelong enemy.
Yes.
Just
gonna add him to the stack.
Victor has so many.
You all have so many.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'll have to bring Warren back next time, I think. That'll be exciting. I mean, what? All right, so let's see. I feel like there's end of session questions that are involved. I feel like I've dealt out the reputation, etc.
Yes.
that you would need. If you were exhausted, it is not there anymore because you spent several days here. And I think that would be that. So we can go around. You can reintroduce yourself, where people can find you, and then do the end of session stuffs. So we start with Tough.
Yes. Hello.
Oh, I guess I can say that I'm Misha, or Misha _ less than 3 on Twitch. And I think you can find me here next on the 15th for some Homo sapiens as they go caroling or not, depending on how the situation goes. So it's going to have a little later start time, but I also don't think it will take that long for us to do something horribly wrong.
Yes.
All right. Tough.
Cool. I am 90 Tufflef, or Tough or Torf or Torfleton, or some other variety of nickname. I'm also a variety streamer on Twitch. Sometimes, haven't been recently. One day I'll get better internet. Until then, you can usually find me here, or over on the Backwinds channel. There's an ongoing masks and stuff like that. I've been playing V, and I think I at least accomplished Clean Paws because I got Fritz off the hook for literal murder with a marquisate weapon.
That does sound true.
And I don't know if the clay pits count as a wonder.
They should.
But that was possibly discovery as well.
I mean, it was already known by somebody. So it's not really discovering it.
Yeah, that's true. That's fine. I got clean paws. That's all that matters. And I think that's it for end of session. Go Sin.
Hi, I am Sin, or sinful _ potato on Twitch and all the social medias. I stream on Twitch occasionally. I will be streaming on Monday at around 4:30 Eastern time, which is roughly 3:30 Central time. I will be doing a no mic stream and playing some Stardew. The rest of the time, you can find me hanging in chats like Juice over here in chat, and also with the mask campaign over on Backwind's channel. I play Fritz. Don't think Fritz accomplished any of the drives, unless you count the angry clay people. But
I don't think it quite fits the drives. And I will say, if at the end of the game you're allowed to change your drives, so if there's something that you'd rather change one or both of them to try to hit them more often, that is fine. I feel like the negative reputation works, but sometimes it's a longer haul, so you could switch it out to something else if you would like.
yeah,
But I'll let you think about that, because there's quite a few different drives.
I was thinking of switching the infamy drive out with thrills, which is when you escape from certain death or incarceration.
Yes, that might be handy, because you're visiting perhaps two places where some of you or all of you are wanted for crime.
Yes.
So yeah, it's me. Why?
Hello, I'm Twi'lek, and I have been playing Hector. I'm at least in the top 3 birds that you've seen today. And my 2 drives are ambition, which I advance when I increase my reputation, which I have not managed to do today, and greed, which I advance when I secure a payday or treasure. And I have been paid today, but I'm not sure we did that in game per se.
I think you can count, like, you have finally been paid for all of the work that you had done. So I think that is something that counts.
Thank you. SJ.
I'm SJ, or SJ _ sidekick. I don't stream, but I'm on here a lot. Or sidekicking on other people's streams, playing games like Juice. So protection, probably it's when you protect them from significant danger, or when time passes and your ward is safe. I didn't mark it last time, but now that it's been a full session.
I am going to be passing time as far as things that I do outside of the on-screen stuff soon, basically, and it includes your time here, so I think that is acceptable.
Okay. And then my other drive was revenge, which Commander Warham wasn't in this one, so I don't think I did anything. So I'm going to change that to freedom, which is advance when you free a group of denizens from oppression, because now my focus is shifting from specifically him to I really don't like what the Corvid conspiracy is doing. Now I just generally want more power to the people. So I got OneDrive.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm Zero Daylight, or Michael, and I've been playing Marsh. And let's see. I would argue that starting an anti-capitalist revolution is kind of a criminal goal.
I mean, I feel like you have done several things that are minor criminal activities, like blaming innocent Victor for crimes of being a Corvid conspiracy member.
Helping Hector steal historical
It
artifacts.
would be
Yes.
funny if he wasn't, if he really was actually.
He might be. We don't know.
Yes.
It's possible.
And then, so here's
Every
a question.
bird you see can't be part of the Corvid conspiracy. I will say I used the random generator for the hawk guy in town. It did show up as a hawk, so I was just like, well, here we are.
This one might apply to V as well. Was discovering the fact that there are ghosts count as encountering a new wonder?
It is not in the forests.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Though it is weird that there are ghosts, actually. Everybody. Well, I didn't actually expect there to be a ghost, yet here we are.
Yeah. Found a ghost.
Cool. Then my cunning will go up. Ooh. Excellent. Oh, and that brings us in. So we should probably go raid someone. And because it is, I was going to say Sunday, but it's not Sunday, it's Saturday. And our good friend Megan ML is up. We should probably go say hi to her, don't you think?
Probably. It's Scatterday.
Yes. Thanks for dropping in. Oh, that's weird. It didn't do the thingy. There it goes.
Stream elements.
So let's see. Oh, I can't do it from that one. I have to do it from this one. Make sure that's taking. Looks like it's working. Awesome. Cool. Well, we're going to go say hi to the wonderful Megan ML. Be sure to drop in those raid calls to let her know that we are in the house and share the love with her. And yes, as Misha mentioned, we will be back on the 15th for some more animals doing things they shouldn't be doing. But this time they're going to be grossly incompetent at everything they try, because we're going to revisit Homo sapiens, which is a very silly system. So come and hang out with us and enjoy that. Thank you, Misha, once again for running and bringing us back into the world of Root the RPG. And thanks to all the players, and thanks to everyone in chat and on YouTube later for hanging out with us. And we will see you again soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.